Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto becomes strong and Jiraiya bashing part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. My name is Naruto Aizen Namikaze. I am the son of the 4th Hokage Minato Namikaze, formerly known as the Yellow Flash of Konoha, and Kushina Uzumaki, also known as the Red Hot-Blooded Habanero. I also hold the Kyuubi no Yoko, the strongest demon out of the 8 other Biju. My life was not been that great, especially when I was kid. Being called demon brat for some strange reason, accompanied with glares and whispers, scourging through garbages just to fill my stomach just so I don't succumb to death due to starvation. I can also remember being beat to death on many occasions. As I said, my life was not as glamorous as it is now. I am now the Yuzukage of the village of Yuzushiobikure, a village that was once destroyed to be left in ruins. This was a village that I built by myself to topple any of the other village, and to be more so supreme than Konoha. Not only that, but I have many beautiful wives that kept me sane within the village, women I fell in love with and share equal love with. I couldn't ask for anything better in my life. That's all I have really ever wanted, to be loved and recognized. But none of this would have ever happened if I wouldn't have met my beautiful sword along with this mysterious orb known as the Hogyoku, along with a man I felt like I could call my father at the time. Sosuke Aizen, a man that was once a Shinigami for a place called the Soul Society, but decided to betray them all for his lust of being a god. He was eventually defeated and was sealed and then put in a prison. But being in prison gave him time to think about his actions. This also theoretically sealed the Hogyoku within him, silently waiting for its successor. His sword, or Zanpakuto, which he gave to me, is named Kyoka Suigestu, Mirror Flower, Water Moon, an ordinary blade with an ordinary appearance, yet in terms of its skill is nothing short of beautiful. Complete hypnosis over a person's 5 senses by just a glance of the blade. Flawless. Truly remarkable. Life is good now. I am also the most powerful shinobi in all of the elemental nations, given the first triple S rank, which states to flee upon recognizing me, like they have a chance to flee anyways. This is my story of how I started from the bottom, then made it to the top. Come, and I will share this journey that I have been through with you. Here is my story. Love and recognition. 2 words I have been striving to attain for in my whole existence. But yet, these 2 words have always been denied to me. Why? I'm not completely sure. But I do hear people calling me demon brat and glaring and whispering dirty things about me. Here I am again, in an alley looking for food. God, this stinks. I'm so hungry. Please let there be something in here. Aha! An unfinished stick of dango. This should do for now. I rejoiced. As I went to take a bite into the dango, I hear steps and low chatter approach me. Shit! I thought, already knowing what is going to happen. A man with a Jonin flask jacket and some chunin along with civilians corner me within the alley. The Jonin steps out. Now you are done for, demon. We will finally get rid of you. You caused this village many deaths many years ago, so now we will put an end to you and avenge our loved ones. Fight or flight. This is what my mind was signaling me. My mind is telling me to run, and get away from these people. And so I did, but where do I go? Running, I come across something is that a small space leading out of the alley. Screw it, it's my only way out. I dashed towards the space soon after they started charging with kunais and shurikens in hand. My heart palpitating, I'm almost there. Squelch! Ah, I screamed. Damn it, I got hit. I don't even know where I'm going. Wait, is that a forest? Maybe I can lose them in there, worth a shot. I jumped over the fence and started to run without a destination, deeper into the forest. All the Jonins, Chunins, and civilians stopped. Hey, what's the matter? Let's go get the demon, yelled a civilian to the Jonin. The Jonin spoke up, you must be crazy, this is the forest of death. Most ANBU think twice before entering here. And plus he's injured, since I'm pretty sure I nailed him, so if he doesn't die of bleeding out, the forest will finish him off. Let's go. What they didn't know is the demon child was about to rock the village of Konoha. Hokage's office. The Sandaime Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen, nicknamed the god of shinobi, a man who had survived 2 wars and mastered at least 1,000 justice, was now sitting on his butt going signing through paperwork, customary to his position. Damn, my life has been consumed by these damn papers. Who the hell thought it would be a good idea to make paper in the first place? Damn you, paperwork! He stopped and sat up and looked at the picture on his wall in front of him. It showed 3 figures he used to talk to a lot. It showed a tall blonde man beside a woman with red hair and another tall man with long white hair holding a baby. That baby was none other than Naruto. The Sandaime always looked at Naruto as his adopted grandson growing up. He felt sad since he hasn't been able to visit him in a while. Maybe I should take him out to eat tomorrow, he thought. Suddenly an ANBU appears in front of the Sandaime, bowed, a dog mask on his face, with gray gravity-defying hair. Hokage-sama, I overheard a few civilians in the bar talking about Naruto, and how they cornered him in the alley and chased him into the forest of death for him to bleed out and die there. As soon as those words left Kakashi's mouth, an insane amount of killing intent was being felt in the office and throughout the village, to where all the ANBU present in the shadows in the office fell to their knees by the large amount being exhibited by the god of shinobi. Kakashi, I want you to take one unit and capture all the ones responsible, and send them to Ibiki. The others here will come with me and we will find him. Move! Immediately all ANBU shunshined out of his office. The amount of killing intent was insane. May God help those who did this to Naruto, Kakashi thought as he went to go gather a unit. With Naruto. Naruto found himself slowing down now. Blood was on the ground, and he was holding his shoulder. Looks like I lost them, good. Not to find a place to resume FPH. Ow, my head, Naruto moaned as he felt his back on the ground. He slowly stands up and sees he is in some kind of underground cavern. Looking up, he sees the hole he fell into. He all of a sudden feels a pull, like some type of force is pulling him to walk towards a specific direction. He continues on forward, barely being able to see anything in the caverns until he finds a rusty door. He looks at it closely and begins to rub it with his fingers. Wow, this door looks really old, I wonder what's inside. Well, I'm not going to know until I push it, he said. As soon as he places his hand on the rusted door, he gets shocked and faints, but before he could fully close his eyes and sleep, he notices a faint power coursing through him. Mindscape. Oh, my head hurts twice as much now. Where the hell am I now? He stands up and looks around and finds himself in a place that just occupied nothingness, except the color white which was everywhere. Am I heaven? Naruto thought out loud. No, you are not, young one, a voice says. He spins around, almost breaking his neck, and sees this man with brown hair, his hair slicked back with one long strand gently resting in the front. He stood at 6 feet 3 inches wearing white clothes with a white-like cape reaching his feet. He had hands in his pocket, and to Naruto had an alarmingly calm and dangerous aura about him. Who are you? Naruto shouts. The man's mouth took a slight smile and says, I am Sosuke Aizen, my child. Naruto just looks at him, takes a deep breath and says, Okay, Aizen-san, what the hell am I doing here? Why the hell are you here? What the hell is this place? What the hell was that door I touched? And what the hell just shocked me before I fainted? Shouted Naruto in pure hysteria. Aizen looks at him, and the first time in a while an amused smirk graced his face. Yes, let me answer those first 3 questions. You are here because you touched the door that I was sealed in. That door you touched was my prison, and what shocked you was the seal's energy. It's interesting as it seemed it allowed to meet in your mindscape, Aizen said. Naruto scratched his head, relieved he got some information. Okay, that answers that, but why am I here? And what are you? From the looks of the door it looks to be at least 100 years old, so in that case you should be dead, Naruto said. Aizen slightly went wide-eyed at his intelligent response, and composed himself and spoke. How very astute of you, Naruto-kun. To answer your question, I am an ex-Shinigami. As soon as he said that, Aizen was not able to continue as Naruto freaked out and yelled. Oh my god, am I dead? Kami-sama has come to take my soul, he yelled hysterically. Naruto-kun, Aizen said in a calm yet stern, eerie voice that got him to stop. Before I was interrupted by your unnecessary outburst, I was about to explain. Like I said, this is your mindscape. It's a surprise you're even able to see me. As for me, I am past 100 years of age, and no, I am not Kami. Shinigami are the ones that hold order of spirits when they die and go to the Soul Society. Aizen went on to explaining the basics of what Shinigami are, and told him about his time being one. He also told Naruto his eventual demise by a man named Kurosaki Ichigo, and how he was sealed and thrown in prison, and how he recently became one with Hogyoku, more of a soul though. It was then Naruto asked a question. So this is your prison then? Naruto asked, to which Aizen nodded. But how were you able to escape Soul Society? I thought your prison would be up there, not Konoha, Naruto asked curiously. Aizen smiled as he seemed to be enjoying the well-thought questions he was asking. For a kid anyways. I will tell you in a bit. Let me continue my story. Aizen then explained his motive and how he was young and naive and wanted to gain power, and be known as a god throughout the heavens and earth. As he finished, Aizen's calm aura suddenly disappeared into a sad and remorseful one since he was reminiscing about the story. Naruto noticed this and decided even though he committed evil in his time, he saw the way he looked, and thought that his imprisonment really did change him. Not only that, but he had to admit he was impressed with his ability to take on these so-called captains without any problems. Naruto broke the silence. Aizen-san, although I don't approve of what you did with your past, it seems you really thought about your mistakes and feel regretful. I do not hold the past against you, for it is what we do with our future that determines what type of character we are in the end. Aizen for the second time today became slightly wide-eyed and spoke. Naruto-kun, such a mature thought for someone your age, and to only think you are still this small. Why is that, Naruto-kun? Naruto's face took a slight frown and looked at Aizen's eyes with his own that showed Aizen eyes of someone who has seen pain and death constantly. Naruto took a big deep breath and huffed. Aizen-san, the way my life has been, forced me to grow up and mature faster. Sometimes I wish that I was still naive to world like all the kids around my age, Naruto said. Aizen frowned though upon hearing this. Naruto-kun, come here real quick, I want to see something, Aizen said. Naruto complied and slowly walked over to Aizen. Aizen had then put his hand over his forehead. With the power of the Hogyoku, he read Naruto's mind of his whole life up till now. He saw everything, being kicked out the orphanage, not being treated fairly, being almost beaten to death on a daily basis. To say Aizen was mad was an understatement. He may used to be a cruel and sadistic bastard that used people to his advantage, but a kid nonetheless had to go through things that would make most people break, maybe even himself. Although he smiled at this man Naruto called his Gigi and was happy he could find some type of love, but nonetheless his respect of the boy immediately increased. Aizen took his hand off his head and knelt down to his level and looked at Naruto's face. You asked me how I was able to end up here when I was imprisoned in Soul Society, correct? Aizen asked while Naruto nodded. Aizen lifted his palm facing upwards as a small purple came from his body and began to float above it. This little ball is the Hogyoku. Its power is unimaginable as it was an additional source to my own power. You will learn later on about what this does. But one thing the Hogyoku does is it grants the owner's deepest desire. I didn't want to be in Soul Society anymore, so I'm assuming it took me here, Aizen said as the ball disappeared. Naruto was shocked to say the least. This tiny little ball was the source of this man's power who fought other Shinigamis. It must have been something else. Aizen saw the shocked look on his face and smiled as he asked him a question. Naruto-kun, if you were to have power, and you were capable of being the strongest shinobi on this planet, what would you do with that power? Naruto looked up and spoke without hesitation. I would protect those who aim to harm me and anyone close to me, like Hokage Gigi, you Aizen-san, and any future friends. Anyone that would oppose me I will destroy. I will also build a village of my own so I could live in peace. Aizen smiled. A true smile knowing him and this boy will become real friends. He pulls out the familiar purple-looking orb in his hand and said, Naruto-kun, if you want to be free of all the beatings and mistreatment, and want to become strong and protect those who mean the most to you, then take this orb. Naruto looks at it in awe and says, Aizen-san, what would this orb give me? Naruto spoke slightly hesitant. This orb will give you an extreme increase in speed and strength. Not only that, but you will have my famed Zanpakuto, and lastly I will merge with you since I am part of the Hogyoku. Aizen spoke. Naruto looked at him and said, So when we merge, will I be able to come here and talk to you again? Yes, Naruto-kun, but only until you have gotten a hold of my past skills, especially with, and without my Zanpakuto. But after that my spirit will fade and will be absorbed into the Hogyoku due to you being the new owner. Aizen spoke. With a slight frown which turned into a slight smile, Naruto said with much vigor. Well, I will make you proud, Aizen-san. With the abilities you will give me, I will change the world. Come high or come low, I will be the greatest shinobi to your testament, and Hokage Gigi. Once again Aizen smiled a true smile and said, Well, Naruto-kun, we have a long way ahead of us. So once you absorb the Hogyoku we will merge and you will get my skills, but we will have to work on them to make them perfect. Absorbing this will hurt, and you will feel pain like never before. After, you will wake up and it should be in time for when your Hokage Gigi gets to you, since this should alert him. Are you sure you want this, Naruto-kun? Aizen finished. Naruto without hesitation said, Let's do this, Daipeo. Naruto took the orb from his hands and the orb slowly floated up, then smashed towards his chest. Naruto looks over himself. Aizen-san, I thought you said I was supposed to experience pain I've never felt before? Aizen smirks, and at an instant Naruto was screaming for dear life. As Naruto is moving around in pain on the floor, the mindscape starts to diminish, and with that, Aizen began to think about his experience of meeting Naruto. This boy, he will become someone great. I know it. I can see the potential, and if I train him right, he should be able to surpass me. This boy is very interesting indeed. No matter, I will turn him into something shinobis and shinigamis fear alike. Moments later, Naruto woke up in the same forest he was in before he fell in the hole. Oh my goddamn head, why is it always me head? Why can it be any other body part? As soon as he stood up, he immediately noticed the difference within his power and himself. Is this what it feels like to absorb the Hogyoku? Interesting. I feel like I can move mountains. I also feel taller. Way taller. He thought to himself. His focus shifted towards a specific R as he felt a familiar energy source accompanied by 4 other people. As on cue, Sarutobi arrives. Naruto-kun! Sarutobi yelled. Sarutobi lands and looks at Naruto in shock. Standing before him was not the short 4-inch kid that looked skinny, as he remembered. Before him now is a man standing at 5 feet 6 inches, clothes torn clearly showing the amount of muscle on him. Even breathing or moving any body part slightly, Sarutobi and the other 4 ninja were able to see every muscle move under very little strain. Even some of the women that accompanied the Hokage as Anbu couldn't help but blush red and have a slight nosebleed. He did look a lot older. Especially a purple-haired shinobi. Sarutobi was snapped out of his stupor when he heard. Oh hey oh GG. Sarutobi cracks a slight smile hearing the grandfatherly term being used as he knew only person called him that. Naruto-kun, what happened to you? Why do you like you're a young adult? Sarutobi said. Yes GG, matters on this issue shall be discussed in your office away from prying ears. Naruto said referring to the Anbu. Sarutobi looked at him in mild shock yet again. Where was the little hyperactive blonde that shouts and is impatient and yelling date bail? The person talking to him here seemed very calm, cool and very collected. Snapping out of thought yet again, Sarutobi looked at him. Okay Naruto-kun, let's head back to my office. And with that they left. Sarutobi's office. Over the course an hour and a half, Naruto explained to him that he was first looking for food. Then up to where he got cornered and attacked. As he finished, everyone in room knew Sarutobi was mad if the rise of his killing intent indicated anything. After he calmed down, Naruto told him how he fell in a ditch and met Aizen after touching a rusted door, and lead on to explaining Aizen's past and the Hogyoku merging with him explaining his appearance. Sarutobi pinches the bridge of his nose, eyes closed feeling a migraine come on. Kami, first paperwork, and now this story of Naruto's. Although from what he told me, he might be able to surpass his father and me if trained right. Should I tell him? I want to inquire on his newfound abilities, and I'll see if he could be capable enough of defending himself when he learns the secret. Sarutobi snaps his eyes open and asks. Naruto-kun, what type of abilities or powers have you obtained since the merge? Naruto tries to remember what Aizen said but was interrupted in mid-thought when he hears his voice. Naruto-kun. Aizen-san? Yes, it is me. Tell your GG that you well have an exceptional boost in power and speed, not only that you have somewhat retained my intellect so learning things and mastering them will be easy like the justice you guys use. Aizen continues. Also you will be able to access Ryastu, which is the spiritual part of chakra, making your moves in the Shinigami art way more powerful than any Justu. And lastly my sword, although it has a name you have to be able to hear it through training and meditation to use it. But what the sword's special ability is complete hypnosis over an opponent. You will be able to control all 5 senses of a person. You can practically attack and kill without them knowing they are in an illusion. You get that, Naruto-kun? Naruto-kun? Little did Aizen know Naruto was sitting there wide-eyed and his jaw almost hitting the floor. After being explained everything he can have in terms of ability by Aizen, Naruto was practically drooling at the thought at how powerful he can become. After a while Naruto picked up his jaw and asked Aizen. Aizen-san. Aizen quickly interrupted. Naruto-kun, you shall refer to me as Aizen-sensei from now on since I will be training you tomorrow. Naruto responded, okay Aizen-sensei, should I tell him everything you told me? Aizen thought about it. Yes, tell him everything except the ability of your sword. That will be your trump card, but knowing since we merged you will eventually use it to show who's more dominant. Aizen finished with a smirk. Cutting the connection momentarily, Naruto fixed his eyes on Sarutobi and told him everything he acquired. Sarutobi for the moment looked like his jaw was about to snap off any second as he was hearing this godlike power Naruto had acquired. Well, at least I can tell him about Kyuubi and his heritage now. Please forgive me, Naruto-kun, for being an old fool, he thought. The Sandaime cleared his throat to get Naruto's attention. Naruto-kun, I think it's about time I told you about your parents and Kyuubi. My parents, Naruto said with such a sad-ridden face. Sarutobi could look at the boy in sadness. It pained him to see his adopted grandson so sad. With a sigh, Sarutobi spoke. Yes, Naruto, your dad was the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze. Your mom was Kushina Uzumaki. Your father was my successor. He was a very good man. He always cared for everyone, especially his friends and this village. He was undoubtedly the strongest shinobi to ever grace the elemental nations. Sarutobi continued. He actually looks just like you, blonde hair and everything. Your mom was a hothead, very talkative and a tomboy at that. But don't be fooled, she was one of the most beautiful kunoichi in the village. Having long beautiful red hair and blue eyes, she was also one of the most talented women to ever serve as a ninja here in Konoha. Kushina was known for Fuinjustu and being able to subdue the nine-tailed fox that attacked this village long ago with her chakra chains, being she had special chakra. Listen to me loud and clear when I say this, Naruto, they both loved you very much. At the time of her pregnancy, they both couldn't stop talking about you and how they couldn't wait to see how much a man you would grow out to be. No doubt they cared about you so much they both were willing to sacrifice their lives for you, and they did. Sarutobi ended with a sad sigh. It wasn't long until Naruto was looking at the ground, tears falling out of his eyes. A few silent seconds he only uttered one word. Why? He asked. Sarutobi could look in confusion until a sudden explosion of sheer pressure came out of nowhere, forcing the ANBU in the room to sweat profusely, while the god of shinobi was having a hard time breathing and sweating due to the pressure being directed to him. Sarutobi managed to lift his head ever so slightly to look at who was causing the pressure, and was shocked when he saw his adopted grandson causing it. When Naruto was standing, energy was surrounding him. But it was not visible chakra to Sarutobi's understanding, but some other type of energy. Purple Ryastu was streaming and surrounding Naruto. Sarutobi thought, my god, this feels like killing intent but much stronger, this feels like pure power, what the hell happened to you, Naruto-kun? My body has never felt so heavy in my life. Naruto was standing there glaring at the Hokage. Why, Sarutobi, why didn't you tell me? He yelled with his spiritual pressure increasing even more than before. The floors started to crack little by little. It wasn't until he heard his sensei. Naruto! Aizen yelled firmly in his mind before continuing, Naruto-kun, one lesson you will learn from me is to keep your emotions in check and never let any emotion control you. Lower your spiritual pressure now and listen to his reasoning on why he did what he did. Aizen said, but inwardly smirking at the display. This boy has almost as much spiritual pressure as me before I left the Soul Society. And this is just after we merged. What's scary is he will surpass mine in a couple years if he trains. He might not even have to fight some people just by flexing his spiritual pressure alone. The next 4 years will be indeed interesting, he thought. With those words being said, Naruto calmed down just a little, while the Sandaime and Umbu in the room were slowly trying to get their breathing back to normal. One thing was for sure though. Everyone who felt the spiritual pressure in the room that moment knew that Naruto will be someone you would not want to come across in the future. Naruto only stood there, tears still slowly coming off his face. He broke the silence as everything seemed it was back to normal. Why, GG? He asked more somberly this time. Sarutobi finished adjusting his clothes and getting his breathing in check and looked at Naruto. I'm sorry, Naruto-kun. What you need to understand is your father was so dangerous, being that he ended a war with one just so that many people wanted to claim his head. Your father was the first person to ever achieve the rank of a double S rank shinobi with a flea on sight order if you saw him. If other villages would have known he had a son, they instantly would have tried to kill or kidnap you. And I would not let that happen, Sarutobi said in a firm yet strong voice. While Naruto was processing the information he was just told, he was surprised that his father was so strong other villages gave an order to run away from him when they saw him. Not only that, but he ended a war with one just to. One word came to his mind when he thought about it. Amazing. Aizen in his mindscape was somewhat impressed at the information they just received. My, now I know merging with this boy was the right thing to do. No doubt he will become powerful, Aizen thought, smiling. Naruto spoke up. I'm sorry for the way I acted, GG. It's just being alone and thinking no one cared for me made me very sad and angry. It's nice to know that I had parents who loved me and were powerful at that. I understand you were only looking out for me. I promise an outburst like that will not occur again. I am sorry, Hokage-sama, he said as he bowed. Sarutobi was shocked at how he addressed him. Never in his life has Naruto called him Hokage-sama. A smile was found on Sarutobi's face when he replied. It's okay, Naruto-kun, knowing if it was someone else they would have done the same thing. I can tell by your response and surge of power thought that you will become a great shinobi if not the best. Sarutobi continued. Naruto, do you want to know why people call you Demon Brat? At an instant Naruto locked eyes with him with a mix of curiosity and painfulness. Naruto, the nine-tailed fox that attacked our village long ago, could not be stopped. You were born on the same day the Kyuubi was summoned to destroy this village. Your father, even though he was considered a god among ninja, could not defeat a tailed beast considering it was the strongest one out of all of them. So he did what he thought was right to save his village and sealed the fox in you. You saved our village that day, Naruto-kun, and in your dad's last words to me, he wanted the village to see you as a hero. But people were still recovering from their own losses in those times and were traumatized to the point not a lot of people got over that day. And even going as far as misplacing their anger and sadness onto you. Sarutobi said. Naruto went wide-eyed. Everything was now making sense. Why they called him that name, why people hate him and don't give him the time of day. He suddenly asked. Gigi, if I save the village, then why do people hurt me and try to kill me? Sarutobi slightly winced at the bluntness of the question. Like I said before, it is misplaced anger, but Naruto-kun, always remember that people will fear what they do not know. Now let me ask you a question. If I poured a bowl of water in a cup, does the water become the cup? Naruto responded, of course not, Gigi. It only holds th. Naruto had then came to a realization. Sarutobi saw this and said, I see, you understand it now. People believe since the demon is sealed inside of you, you are the demon itself by association. What they don't know is you are only holding it back. Naruto heard this and instantly felt at ease. He was starting to believe the people who called him that. But now that he had found out about his parents and the Kyuubi, he was starting to feel much better. Naruto straightened out his posture and spoke. Gigi, from now on if anyone messes with me they will feel the wrath of power, and I will not guarantee they will survive. Naruto spoke in a slightly disturbing calm voice. One thing was for sure. With his newfound power, he ain't taking shit from no one. Sarutobi sighed knowing this would happen sooner or later, so he spoke. Okay Naruto-kun, but at least try to avoid it. If not, then try not hurt them that badly. Because I do not feel like doing more paperwork than I have to, he said as both Sarutobi and Naruto shared a chuckle. I promise, Gigi. Also Gigi, I also have a request, Naruto said seriously. And what would that be? Sarutobi asked, slightly curious. I would like to train for 4 years in the Forest of Death without any interruption to increase my skills both in the Shinigami and Shinobi arts. After I would like to join the graduating class at the academy. I promised myself that when I got this power I would make you, Aizen-sensei, and now my Two-san and Ka-san proud and become the best shinobi the Elemental Nations has ever seen, Naruto said with the utmost confidence. Sarutobi and Aizen smiled at the boy's declaration. Are you sure you want to be in the Forest of Death, Naruto-kun? There are many dangerous animals in there? Sarutobi said, slightly worried. Yes, Gigi, with Aizen with me, along with my training, nothing should be able to touch me. Sarutobi paused for a moment, then said with a sigh. Alright Naruto-kun, I will allow it. Just make sure you come back alive so I can test your skills out myself, the Sandaime said with a smirk. Naruto replied back with a small smirk. Oh, trust me Gigi, I know I would be itching to take down your old butt and show you who's boss. Sarutobi grew a slight tick mark. I may be old Naruto-kun, but I can still take down armies with ease, he said, slightly proud. Yeah, whatever Gigi. Hey, can I also get some scrolls before I leave? Naruto asked. Yeah, sure my boy, let me get some real quick, Sarutobi said as he left to fetch them. Moments later the Sandaime came back. Here you go Naruto, here are some C and B rank scrolls for you to learn along with some books with chakra exercises just in case to ever plan to use it. Also, since I know you're going to be in the forest for a while, here is a scroll with food and water that should last you for a while. The Sandaime walked back to his deck and was about to start his paperwork when he was interrupted by a voice he thought was going to leave. Hey Gigi, what did my mom and dad look like? Naruto asked, curious as he turned back around. Sarutobi looked at him for a moment and pointed to a photo frame that hung on his wall. Naruto turned his attention to it, and upon seeing it Sarutobi spoke. The man to your left was a good friend of mine, that is your father, the 4th Hokage Minato Namikaze. The girl to his right is your mother, Kushina Uzumaki, a strong and beautiful woman. And the man in the middle you is a good friend of theirs, his name is Jiraiya the Toad Sannin. Sarutobi thought to himself, I can't tell him that he had a godfather all along. I don't think he could handle that right now. And plus I want to stay alive even if it means doing paperwork. While Sarutobi was in deep thought, Naruto as well was thinking as well. Wow, I really do look like my dad, except now that my hair is slicked back like Aizen-sensei's. But my mom is so pretty. I haven't seen a girl as beautiful as her. Not to mention her body looks real good. Wait, what? Naruto starts to fidget. I can't think like that. She's my mom for goodness sake. Although she does look very pretty. Aizen decides to cut into his train of thought. Well, your mom is sexy, Naruto-kun. I wouldn't have minded getting to know her, Aizen states in an amused voice, knowing he would get a rise out of him. Naruto instantly retorts back, hey team. She's my mom, not your woman. She is mine and you will not do or think anything of that matter. Aizen smirks before responding, my Naruto, no need to get defensive. But I can already tell you don't look at her like a mom. Naruto instantly blushes red. While Sarutobi finishes his thoughts, he focuses his eyes on Naruto and sees his blush. Curious at what is making him blush, he sees his eyes fixed on his mom. Sarutobi smirks very wide and thinks, my Naruto-kun, who would have known you thought like that? Though I don't blame you, not receiving any love and now looking at a beautiful woman, he can't help what to think. Maybe I can get Jiraiya on this, he thought perversely. He then snapped out of his stupor and looked at Naruto. Naruto, my boy, are you okay? He said. Naruto, still in blank gaze, suddenly snapped out of it. Looking at his GG, he responds. Yeah, I'm fine, GG. But thanks for clearing things up and explaining it to me. I'll see you in 4 years, Gramps, Naruto said, running out of his office. Sarutobi sat back down and looked at the picture of Minato. Minato, Kushina, you would be proud of your son, and even more so in 4 years. No doubt in my mind he will become powerful. Turning his head to the left, he sees more paperwork and at an instant he cries anime tears. I don't want to do paperwork anymore, he said in a childish tone as he continued crying anime tears. Running out of the Hokage Tower, Naruto immediately began to run full speeds towards the Forest of Death. Naruto couldn't help but think how strong he was going to become in the next 4 years. As soon as he reached the forest, he hopped up on the highest branch he could find and closed his eyes to try and find Aizen so he could start his training. Naruto's mindscape for Aizen. He opened his eyes and saw before him what seemed to be a beautiful Japanese garden that was huge. Looking to his right, he sees his new companion and sensei coming out of the traditional Japanese house. Upon spotting him, Aizen smiles and greets him. Hello Naruto-kun, what brings you here? Naruto greets him with a nod and slight bow. Aizen-sensei, I wish to become strong and I wish to start my training with you as soon as possible, he said with determination in his eyes. Aizen sees this and lightly smirks. Yes, Naruto-kun, the first step to your training will begin now. Come, he gestures, walking beside him. Moments later, Aizen and him come to a room within the house. Aizen began to slide the door open and the first thing Naruto saw was a vast library of books. He looks at Aizen. You're kidding, right, Aizen-sensei? Naruto says. On the contrary, Naruto-kun. What made me such a dangerous Shinigami capable of handling multiple captains was not my ability to attack, although it played a part, it was my keen intellect that made the difference. My ability to be a strategist when the situation calls for it, to be calm and collected and to use my opponent's emotions against them to trigger a mistake when they attack. Always remember, Naruto, your mind is your most dangerous weapon. Train your mind to the fullest extent, and you will be able to overcome any enemy no matter what size or skill. Aizen states indefinitely. He continues, now I want you start out reading these books. Aizen gestures Naruto to sit at a table, while he leaves to grab a few books. He comes back with what seems to be a towering mountain of books. Upon arriving at the table, Aizen drops the books, making a large booming sound. Naruto grabs one of the books and looks at it, Incredulous Advanced Theory of Human Psychology, picking up another one, Basic Intro to Psychoanalysis. Reading Human Behavior and Emotions Volume 1? Aizen straightened out his clothes before continuing. These books here, Naruto, will teach you on how the human mind works and how to use it to your advantage. We will not start any training until you have read the appropriate number books I see fit. By the time you are done, you should be able to manipulate an enemy into doing what you want, to be able to analyze a situation and come up with 5 solutions to counter it. By reading the human body's gestures and emotions, you will be able to tell an enemy's personality, for very subtle gestures can tell a lot about one's personality, which you then can capitalize on. Naruto just looks at him, then the books. Aizen-sensei, I feel looking at these books I already somewhat know the material in of each of them, Naruto stated, flipping through pages. Aizen in turn responds. Yes, Naruto-kun, that should be partly because of you and I merging together. You retained somewhat of my intellect, so now all we need to do is brush up on it, and make sure you memorize these books like the back of your hand. Naruto looks at some of the books on the table, and one catches his eye. He immediately picks it up, and yells at Aizen. Seduction 101, How to Make Women Do What You Want in Bed. Seriously, Aizen-sensei, I thought I was learning about the human mind, not about seducing girls and learning how to get them in bed. Aizen lazily picks his ear out with his pinky. Seriously, Naruto, can you get more louder? Anyways, you are learning the art of seduction because you will face women who will try to kill you. It would be better to seduce and manipulate them to how you see fit. You may also single-handedly avoid a battle alone with just words and gestures. Plus, by the time you're done reading, every girl you encounter won't get enough of you, and it is a good read. Aizen says with a wide smirk and light laugh. Naruto, on the other hand, blushes blood red and shouts. Aizen-sensei! Naruto whined. He looks back at his sensei and was about to complain some more about the book, and found his gaze was dead serious. With a sigh, Naruto says, Ugh, fine sensei, I will read it. Aizen smirks gets slightly bigger. Thought you would see it my way. Now you will spend every day in this mindscape. Every 2 to 3 days you will wake up to make sure you to eat the food and water your Hokage gave you so you don't die of hunger and starvation, and to make sure no animals have harmed you in the real world. When you are done learning these books and you pass the test I have set up for you, we will continue your training outside of this mindscape, since we don't need books for the spells, since I will teach them to you. Naruto nods his head and replies, Okay, I will do that, Aizen-sensei, and I can't wait to try this stuff out in the open. Aizen smiles and says, Good. Now read all these books. Once you finish, come find me and I will test your knowledge to see if you understand the material. Hi! Naruto yells. 100 plus books, and a month later. Naruto slides the door and walks into a living room silently. He spots his sensei calmly reading. Aizen-sensei, I believe I have read and mastered everything from reading and spotting emotions from the human psychology books to seducing women to my whim. I would like to test my knowledge and take this test so I may begin in training my skills in the Shinigami arts, Naruto said calmly. Aizen looks up from his book silently, then places his gaze on Naruto and says, Alright, I believe the time has come. Wake up, Naruto-kun, I will be right behind you. Nodding, he slowly fluttered his eyes open. He sees himself sitting on a branch. Jumping off of it, he lands on the ground and starts to see Aizen materialize in front of him. Naruto looks at him in awe and asks, Aizen-sensei, how are you able to come out of my mindscape? I thought you were just a spirit. Aizen smirks smugly. Well, Naruto, since I am fused with the Hogyoku, I can materialize because of the power of it. Now come, Naruto, let's head deeper into the forest, Aizen says, walking deeper. They finally arrive to an open space with a lot of room. Aizen began walking towards the middle. Aizen directs Naruto to walk the opposite direction. As now they are facing each other, Aizen materializes a small timer and sets it, then places it on a small log near him. Naruto-kun, this is your final test, Aizen said, facing him. This timer here is set to 3 minutes. You have 3 minutes to read and decipher my personality. When the 3 minutes is up, I will ask you what you can deduce from simply looking at me. If you happen to so miss one little detail about me, I will attack you and kill you here, and we will both be sealed within the Hogyoku. Your test starts now. As soon as Aizen let his words settle in his student's mind, he took a moment to look at him, inwardly smirking. So he has learned something. His demeanor has not changed, even though I mentioned I would not to hesitate to strike him down, and he didn't even flinch. His posture looks exactly like mine. Very good, Naruto. Now let's see if you will pass. Inside, Naruto was somewhat skeptical by his last statement, knowing it was not at all as it seemed. Running his mind through everything he has learned up till now, he examined Aizen methodically. By his facial features, I can see he is relaxed. No facial muscles are tensed, no eyebrow twitching. His blinking of his eyes are controlled. But with a slight smirk, I can tell he knows I am closely examining him. His arms are loosely hanging by his side, ready to pull his sword out at an instant. Chest breathing looks to be the same. His posture is tall yet relaxed. He believes he's still superior to me and has nothing to worry about. Naruto looks at the timer. It shows 1 minute and 30 seconds. Okay, legs slightly bent so he has balance just in case I attack, or he does. Now to his feet. Well. What is this? Very interesting, Naruto says, more closely examining Aizen's feet. Shifting from the balls of his back feet to its regular posture. And his left leg slightly inching forward. That just confirmed my suspicion to his last statement, Naruto thought very proudly. Regardless if I answer this wrong or right, Aizen-sensei is going to lunge and attack me. Very tricky of you, Aizen-sensei, he must expect me to counter. Now to divert an oncoming attack and counter. His sword is on his left side, which tells me he is right-handed. When he pulls it out, he will slash with a wide arc, or his sword will come down to slash me. His 2 legs are slightly more apart than usual, so he will use a wide arc to overpower me, so he will compensate for the speed and balance he could have had in straight slash. Okay, I know what to do. Bring it, Aizen-sensei. Ring. Aizen stops the timer. So, Naruto-kun, what can you deduce from just looking at me? Aizen says with a smile. Naruto showed his smile in return. But it wasn't a regular smile, a smile that clearly shows he knows what he is planning. Ah yes, Aizen-sensei, let's see, you are very relaxed in the stance you are in now. You look to be ready for anything. But what caught my eye is the way your legs are positioned, he replied. Aizen's smile getting bigger and replies innocently. Really, Naruto? Please elaborate. Aizen stated. Naruto responded back. Certainly, sensei. The last sentence you told me about striking me down if I didn't get one thing right about you got my attention. As soon as I started examining your feet, I saw that your left leg was slowly inching further from your body while your right leg was routinely shifting to the balls of your feet. You were planning on attacking me regardless, Aizen-sensei, Naruto finished with a wide smirk. Aizen looks at him with a big smile and chuckles before talking. Very good, Naruto. You have indeed figured out my true motive by only reading my posture. I am very impressed. You are ready to learn the Shinigami arts, Naruto-kun. As soon as the words left his mouth, Aizen blurred out of existence and went to slash Naruto with a wide arc just as he anticipated. Naruto, seeing this, flips over his blade and delivers a hard kick to the back of Aizen, sending him stumbling forward a bit. Aizen barely felt it, but he smiled yet again before addressing him. Very good, Naruto. Not only did you predicted my attack, but you also countered accordingly. If you would have poured more power into that kick, any normal person with average combat experience would have had a severed spine. Naruto smiles and bows. Thank you, Aizen-sensei. When can we begin training? Aizen lets out a small laugh, already wanting to go back to training, huh? Well, let's begin now. Yash! Naruto yells, following Aizen in tow. While walking forward to find another training ground field, Aizen thinks about the upcoming years. These 4 years are going to be interesting. Only a month and he is able to read me. In the next few years he will become the most deadliest shinobi in his village. And then we will show them the definition of fear, he thought with a smirk. First year training. Alright, here we are, Naruto-kun. Naruto stops right beside Aizen to see where he was brought. They seemed to have ventured further into the forest past the tower they saw on the way here. In front of him was an even bigger field with massive-sized trees and boulders. Aizen tells him to sit in the middle of the field. While he does this, Aizen begins to explain. Naruto-kun, the energy you have within you is called Ryoryoku. Unlike what your Hokage uses, this is the spiritual essence of the same energy source, thus making it more powerful and potent. This is what's stored in your body. Everything I am going to teach you will involve something called Ryastu. Ryastu is the energy being expelled. Think about it this way, it's like a pool of water, that is your Ryoryoku. In order to say put out a fire, you will need to exert the water, but in a controlled manner. How will you do that? By taking a hose or a big bucket to the pool of water and using those instruments to alleviate the fire. By pouring how much water you seem fit to put out the fire. That is your Ryastu. Aizen continues. Within using your Ryastu, you are able to do many things that we Shinigami use. For example, you would be able to cast spells which fall under the name Kido, meaning Spirit Way or Demon Way. Within Kido there are 3 types of spells you can cast. One being Hakudo, which means Way of Binding. These spells will help you restrict or immobilize a person. It's very broad art. Along with Hakudo are spells that allow you to use barriers to stop attacks or use seals to hold things far more better in place. You understand, Naruto? Aizen says. Naruto nods his head, allowing Aizen to continue. Going down the list of Kido, there is another spell called Heido, which means Way of Destruction. These spells are used for offensive purposes. Depending on the user, these spells can be powerful enough to even take down your Hokage. These are the spells I will be teaching you most of the time. Last one, the list is called Keido, which just is the healing Kido, which I have some knowledge but not enough. Both Bakudo and Heido have numbers ranging from 1 to 99. Following the latter, 1 will be the weakest, 99 will be the strongest. Don't be fooled by the numbers of their ranking though. An experienced captain can make a low-level spell very powerful, especially with Heido. Also, there are incantations that go along with each spell, both for Heido and Bakudo. Using an incantation will power it up but will slow down your time to use it. You can however not cast an incantation, as you will be able to fire it faster although it is weaker, but like I said, train enough on it, and can become strong even with an incantation. Are you keeping up with me, Naruto-kun? Aizen says. Naruto nods his head in confirmation. Along with using your Ryastu, you are able to use your sword, which we call a Zanpakuto, which means soul cutter. These are sentient swords. We use these swords to send souls to their respective places and to ward off hollows, which are souls that do not cross over to the Soul Society for staying in the world of the living for too long. They are corrupt spirits who feast on living or deceased human souls alike. Anyways, Naruto, a Zanpakuto always has a name and is a spirit, and you will discover it through Jinzen, or sword meditating. Only then the spirit will fight you and decide if you are worthy enough to hear their name and wield them. Once you do hear their name, you will unlock what's called a Shirkai or initial release. In order to release your shurikai, you will need to know their release phase or word. There are 3 forms to your sword. There is your sealed state, your shurikai, and then your bankai. The sealed state will look like an ordinary sword. Once you utter the shurikai phrase, it will transform to a different appearance. As for bankai, which means final release, which you will only achieve that through dominating your Zanpakuto spirit in their world. By doing this, your power increases 5 to 10 times. Do you understand everything I have told you, Naruto? Aizen said while looking back at Naruto, who looks like is trying to absorb everything he just said. Naruto sighs and runs a hand through his blonde hair, leaving a single strand in the front. Yes, I do, Aizen-sensei. The power I need in order to do Kido is based on my Ryastu, which I get from a pool of energy inside me called Riryoku. Also, there are 3 types of spells that fall under one category, and within that category, I can either heal, attack, immobilize, or defend. Also, I will be getting a sentient sword that I will have to meet within meditating. Once the spirit thinks I am worthy, the sword will tell me its name and release command to where I will be to use its true abilities. Naruto said. Aizen looks at him with a smile. Very good, I see you get the gist of it. Now stand up and I will teach you how to do Heido and Bakudo spells. We will be doing this for 6 months, then the rest of the months I will teach you how to wield a sword and you will be meditating to reach your sword's spirit. I will also tell you we will have to talk to Kyuubi so we know it won't do anything to harm you or your training. Aizen said, heading towards the trees and rocks. Naruto flinched slightly when he heard meeting Kyuubi. But knowing he had to do it, he straightened up and followed Aizen towards the dummies. Upon arriving, Aizen spoke first. Now Naruto, I will be teaching you multiple Heido spells on these trees and boulders. You will do these till you drop and don't have an ounce of Ryasta left. Are you ready for your training? Naruto said in slightly excited voice. Yes, Aizen-sensei, let's do it. Aizen smiled and replied, good, here is your first 2 spells, it's called Sho and Byakurai. 5 months later. Heido number 4, Byakurai, pale lighting, Naruto said, obliterating 7 to 8 trees with one finger. Turning his gaze to a boulder that looked about to be twice as big as him. Naruto sticks his palm out and yells Heido number 31, Shikaho, red fire cannon. A red fireball shoots out of his palm, completely reducing the boulder to smithereens. Looking at his handiwork, soon hears clapping. He turns around to see his sensei smiling. Aizen then speaks, very impressive, Naruto-kun. Using Heido number 31 without an incantation. You have certainty improved then from a few months ago. Good, now let's see how your Bakudo is. Get ready, Naruto. I will fire 2 powerful Heido attacks. If you can manage to withstand one attack with a barrier and immobilize with another, then you have learned all I can teach you in that area and we can move on. Naruto looks at him with a calm demeanor and leaps back while Aizen goes on the offensive, signaling the start of his spell. Aizen yells Heido number 31. Shikaho, a huge red energy ball shots out which appeared to be 3 times the size of Aizen due to him pouring his Ryastu into it. Naruto puts his arms up and moves them in a synchronized order and sticks his right arm out and yells. Koko no Jamin, Gate of the Tiger Fang. At that moment a barrier appears out of nowhere shaped like a watermill and at an instant takes the giant red fireball. The barrier slightly cracks then shatters. Aizen smirks when he sees this. Good, Naruto-kun, now for my final attack, Heido number 63, Raikoho, Thunder Roar Seer. A massive wave of yellow energy shoots out. Naruto was now watching calmly with his hands in pocket with a smirk. With the yellow wave nearing Naruto, he quickly shunpas behind Aizen, points 2 fingers out and yells Bakudo number 1, Sai, restrain. Naruto stands there with one hand in his pocket and smirks back at Aizen, who has his arms restrained. Aizen, upon breaking out, congratulates him. Well, very good job, Naruto-kun. Very impressive Bakudo spells. It seems you are ready to learn Zanjutsu along with the technique called Hoho. Sit and I will explain. Naruto sits down while Aizen begins to explain. We are getting close to you discovering your sword. What you will be learning is how to wield a sword. It's called Zanjutsu, or the way of the sword. Wielding a sword is an art. It should always act like an extension of your own arm. When it was me, I had no equal in those terms. I will be running you through katas which you will memorize until you can do them like it's second nature. I will also have you learn one technique which come in handy when wanting to finish things quick. But that will be for later. For now I will teach you a move Shinigami use called Shunpa, meaning flash step, this one of the variations of it. It goes along with your sword. It's a technique where you pour your Ryastu to the bottom of your feet to move across a distance in blind eye speed. I was possibly the fastest, but who came to equaling me more or less is a woman named Yurichi Shihoin. She was so fast she was nicknamed Goddess of the Flash. I will be teaching you that and one more variety, but after you master the flash step. This is what it looks like. I will be at that tree. Aizen turns away from Naruto and flash steps towards the tree. At an instant Naruto only half blinked and was shocked to find his sensei at the tree. Naruto then says, amazing sensei, I wasn't able to see you move at all. Aizen smirks at that and replies, well, that is because partly we haven't trained your eyes to keep up and I'm just that fast. Naruto looked at him in awe. Aizen sensei, can we begin now? Aizen smiles and says, yes, we can, Naruto. I have taken the liberty to get you a wooden sword first so you won't hurt yourself. We will spend half the day with your katas and the rest flash stepping. Let's get to it. Yes, Aizen sensei, Naruto yells. Unknown to them, there was a purple-haired kunoichi whose hair shaped like a pineapple and wearing a trench coat watching him as he trained. Just who are these two gakis? By the looks of it, they look to be at least elite jounin level shinobis. Yet I haven't seen any justice. Just who is this blown gaki though? I might just have to keep an eye on them, and an extra eye on the blonde one, Kukuku, she thought mischievously before disappearing. 6 months later. Clang! 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 Both Aizen and Naruto separate from each other. Then at an instant both flash step and disappear, only to clash swords with one another. This lasts for about 15 minutes, both not showing any slight fatigue or emotion. They both back up yet again to face each other until Aizen speaks first. My, you have improved dramatically. Your strokes are almost flawless. And your flash step is almost equal to mine. That is enough for today. Tomorrow you will talk to the Kyuubi. Understood? Naruto replies in a cool, calm tone. Yes, Aizen sensei, I am ready to face anything that will come my way. They will be nothing compared to me. Kyuubi or not, they are only mere ants. Naruto says. Aizen smiles at his response. Great, now go rest for tomorrow. The next day. Naruto wakes up early in the morning and starts to meditate to try and find his way to the Kyuubi's mindscape. Kyuubi's mindscape. Drip, drip, drip. Naruto opens his eyes and sees he is in a sewer. Dark, damp and eerie is what Naruto could describe it as. Walking forward, he starts to see a huge cage with some type of seal on it. Walking closer, he hears a low growl and then a full growl that flies past him with such intensity his hair and clothes almost look like they're about to be torn off. Inside, Naruto was unaffected and merely got closer. Then he hears a booming male voice. Well, 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 it finally seems my insignificant vessel has come to finally greet me. The Kyuubi says, coming towards the cage in all its glory. Naruto, looking at the gigantic fox very calm and collect as ever, responds. I am Naruto, and so you are the Kyuubi no Yoko, huh? I believe the stories about you were an understatement. You look like nothing but a weak fox who is trapped in this cage. Nothing but an ant compared to me. Tell me, how is it living in that cage? Must be very infuriating, is it not? Kyuubi suddenly roars. You insolent little whelp! I am the Kyuubi no Yoko. The strongest demon out of them all, and the one that raised Konoha to the ground. So you will respect me and my power even if you are cute, Kyuubi says, raising its killing intent towards unimaginable levels. While Naruto sits there, his eyebrows raised, and begins to talk. Cute, huh? I assume by that statement you are a woman. Do you have a human form you can show me? Kyuubi was a little taken back by the assumption. Refocusing, she responds. Why, yes, I do, Naruto-kun. Kyuubi responds coyly and transforms. In front of Naruto is not the gigantic fox anymore, but a woman. To be about 5 feet 6 inches, very slender frame, face of a goddess, long red hair that looked to reach her mid-back, a very well-endowed chest. If Naruto had to guess, it would C cup, borderline D cup. Along with the sexiest, long and slim tender legs he has ever seen. It only added to the fact that she was naked also. Kyuubi sees Naruto checking her out, and she can't help but check him out herself. This man was tall, slicked back yellow hair, with a single strand on his forehead, hands in his pocket, and a chiseled face. She can tell through the civilian clothing he was wearing he has an unbelievably nice body. Although she wasn't showing it, she really wanted to just pounce on him. Naruto snapped her out of her thoughts when he spoke. Wow, such a beautiful woman. Not only has power but beauty as well. Naruto walks over to her and takes her hand and places 2 tender kisses on it, and says, Let me reintroduce myself. I am Naruto Namikaze. Do you have a name, my beautiful vixen? Naruto says with a slight smirk. Kyuubi, on the other hand, has never been so flustered in her life. This man within 30 seconds managed to make the Kyuubi no Yoko flustered. Adorning a red blush, she responds. You're such a flatterer, Naruto-kun. My name is Akane, she says. Naruto takes the information in and responds. Such a beautiful name for such a beautiful girl. Tell me, Aka-chan, I am here to find out if you pose a threat to me in my training to be the best and feared shinobi in all of the elemental nations. Akane blushes at the affectionate term but then grins mischievously and asks. Well, what if I am? What if I don't want you to get stronger and stay weak so I can break out of this seal when you eventually die? For Kyubi, that was the wrong thing to say to Naruto. Naruto at an instant turns his face to a serious one and says, I don't think that would be a wise thing to do. At an instant raised his spiritual pressure to a level that dwarfed Kyubi's killing intent earlier. Kyubi was found on the ground on her knees, sweating, panting heavily, believing for the first time in her life she was going to die. But at an instant it stopped. She lifted her head to look at Naruto, and something stirred inside of her. A warm feeling. She could feel her lower regions leaking from the amount of power her vessel just produced. My God, his power, it's so sexy. I have never felt anyone who could bring me to the ground with pure power alone. Kyubi was reminiscing about her encounters with other male demons. Kyubi did have many suitors, but none interested her back where she used to live. Looking at Naruto, she gave it more thought. Not many people knew that although the Kyubi is the strongest demon, she also loved to be submissive. She just couldn't find a partner that even resembled a match for her strength. But now here she is, looking at her vessel still flustered and somewhat turned on. One thought popped into her head. Oh, he will be mine, and he will give me kits. Naruto decided to speak up, breaking her from her thoughts. I see you have witnessed my power. No, that was only a mere fraction of what I truly hold. Kyubi stood there wide-eyed. A fraction of his power was enough to bring her down. How much at half, or full power at that? Naruto, seeing the realization in her face, asks again. Let me ask you this question again, Aka-chan. Will you hinder my growth as a shinobi to becoming the most feared in the elemental nations? Akane responds by throwing herself at him, crying into his shirt. For a moment he was taken back by the sudden action and change of emotions. It wasn't until he heard talk that he found out why she was crying. Sniff sniff, I'm so sorry, Naruto-kun. I am so sorry. Naruto looks at her down, head buried into his chest, trying to figure out why she was saying sorry. And what would you be sorry for, Aka-chan? He asked in a more softer voice. Akane was crying even harder now. I'm sorry for what I said earlier. I was only trying to get a rise out of you from that comment. But I'm also sorry for attacking your village. But I've seen what they have done to you, Naruto-kun. They hurt you so much physically and emotionally. I tried healing you as best as I can whenever you were hurt. I don't know why people would do such a thing to you. I'm just so sorry. Please, Naruto-kun, please forgive me, she cried hysterically. Naruto slightly stiffened when he heard that she saw the things that hurt him, but he was slightly relieved when he heard he was constantly being healed by her. He always wondered about that. He used to think everyone was like that. Taking off his calm, collective Aizen facade, he spoke in that soft tone again. Aka-chan. Akane looks up at him, red and puffy-eyed. He starts to caress her face only for her to lean into it before continuing. Aka-chan, I'm glad that you were there for me when no one else was. And I'm glad you are apologizing for attacking the village. The past is in the past. Let's start by reshaping our future. Together. Getting to know one another. Naruto said, smiling. He continued. Although, can I ask you a favor, Aka-chan? He said a little more seriously. Sure, Naruto-kun, what is it? Lightly blushing, not being used to the affectionate term. Well, my sensei has trained to use Ryastu, which I'm pretty proficient at. Though I remember him telling me Ryastu is the same energy at which Gigi uses, but from the other half. I was wondering if you knew how to use the other half, and if you do, can you teach me how to use it? Naruto said, slightly hopeful. Yes, Naruto-kun, the other half is called chakra. Chakra is the molding of physical energy and spiritual energy to perform justice. Although since you have likely more spiritual energy, that will be your pool soul source for most of your techniques. Also, unlocking your chakra and combing them would double the power of your techniques. Akane said. So will you teach me, Aka-chan, him? Naruto said. Noticing she was still in his arms, he gently inched away from her and put a hand on her face, and gently stroked her cheek, causing her to blush until he put his mouth to her ear and whispered. I promise, Aka-chan, it will be worth your while if you teach me. Maybe we can both learn things from each other, he said in a low, seductive voice. She's answered shakily. Sure, Naruto-kun, we can learn tomorrow. Naruto shows a true smile to her for the first time, and her heart instantly beats faster and responds. Good, now let me change this mindscape for you. Suddenly the cage disappeared, and what appeared was a mansion-type Japanese-style house with a huge, beautiful garden outlooking a pond. Naruto shunpas to one of the bedrooms and lays Akane down. She laid there, body slightly trembling, thinking they were about to get intimate. Also the tone he used with his words earlier, and the insinuation of his words. It didn't help that he had a primal aura to him as well. Naruto whispered to her. Here's a little thank you gift I know you will like. Without a word, she lunges at Naruto and starts to kiss him hungrily and full of lust. Naruto for a second was a bit taken back, seeing how she flipped the tables on him. but after a few moments of each other's tongue trying to dominate each other, he began to understand what type of woman Akane was. Especially from the surge of spiritual pressure he gave her, and the clear liquid that came trailing down her leg he spotted not too long ago. It made sense. She came as someone who tries to put up a dominate front but in the end wanted to be a submissive female. From the way he would try and dominate her, his assumption was right, especially how she would submit to his tongue while putting up a fight. Remembering the book of seduction he read from Aizen, he started to pour more into the kiss and show her a real alpha male. He started to grab her sides with his hands and slowly rub up and down, getting the knowing reaction out of her. Akane started to moan into his mouth from the kiss. She was getting really turned on. It wasn't until he slid on arm down, grabbed her bare skin as forcefully, making it even harder for Akane to stifle her moans. Naruto started trailing kissing from her mouth down to her jaw and eventually her collarbone. Moaning in bliss, she tilts her head, giving him more room. She couldn't take it more. She can feel the bulge on her leg. Her hand started to slowly trail down his chest to grab his crotch, but suddenly a hand gripped her wrist firmly. And she heard a whisper. "That is off limits for now. Maybe later. I want it to be special. For now I will leave you here, for I have to tell my sensei what happened. But I will back tonight," Naruto whispers huskily. Akane then said, very flustered, "Okay, at least let me set up a mental link with you so we can talk later." Akane was about to speak up, but for the last time took her in a breathtaking kiss, leaving here momentarily stunned while Naruto vanishes. Snapping out of her dream-like state, she still notices that she is still naked and the sheets seem to be soaked. She is wet more than ever. She realizes she was left all hot and bothered. She yells, "Damn you, Naruto-kun! You can't leave me here all horny like this. Just wait till you come back here tonight." Back to the real world. Upon opening his eyes, Naruto slightly chuckles hearing Akane's declaration. He stands up and walks around to find his sensei leaning on a tree looking at the sky. Aizen, sensing Naruto, speaks out, "So Naruto-kun, how did the meeting with Kyuubi go?" Naruto takes a moment to think about his experience, going from intimidating her at one moment to making out with her the next. "It was very interesting to say the least, Aizen-sensei," Naruto says with a small smile. Aizen looks back at him, knowing something happened. "Oh, do tell, Naruto, how was the fox like?" Aizen says, smirking. Naruto looks at him and cracks a slightly bigger smile. "She is defiantly the picture definition of a goddess. Not only that, but she will not harm my training. In fact, she will do the opposite." Aizen smiles. While inside, Akane blushes red inside from the way she was described. Good. We also have another problem," Aizen said. "I believe you are referring to our food supply being almost non-existent. Am I right?" Naruto said. "Correct. It looks like we will have to go back to the village and get some," Aizen says. Naruto, on the other hand, thought about it and spoke. "Aizen-sensei, I believe you have a way of getting the food without having to show ourselves, correct?" Aizen smirks. "Very much so. Tell me, Naruto-kun, how do you think we can get in a grocery shop without people knowing who we are?" Naruto takes a moment to think about it. "I can't do any justice, for I haven't unlocked my chakra yet. We can't sneak in there, for Aizen-sensei never taught me stealth. I also can't ask Gigi either. The only option I can think is to IC. That could very well work. And it will be a good way to test it out." Naruto smirks back at Aizen. "I see what you have planned, Aizen-sensei, and I believe it will be a good way for me to see if I improve." Aizen chuckles. "Well, then we leave as soon as it gets dark." Little did Naruto know he was about to encounter a situation that would really test his skills. The sun began to come down. Naruto looked at his sensei and spoke. "Aizen-sensei, it's time." Aizen looks back at him and says, "Indeed it is. Let's see whose Shunpa is faster." And Naruto-kun. Naruto, with a slight smirk, replies, "I believe mine will still be faster, Aizen-sensei. I am already at your level, and in 3 more years I will only get stronger." Aizen replies, "Let our actions do the talking, Naruto. Let's go." Both figures blurred out of existence, each blurring out of the forest at breakneck speeds. Reaching the gate, they see the 2 gate guards asleep. Aizen sees this, says, "Let's move faster, Naruto. The goal is to be in and out in 40 seconds to a minute. Grab as much as you can and what you need." Naruto looks at him and smiles. "Yes, I do believe we should speed this up. I will only take what I need that I know will last me for a while. So I limit my visits to the village." Aizen looks at him and smiles. "Good idea, Naruto-kun. There is the store, let's go." 1 minute and a mad store owner later. "Well, it seems like we accomplished our goal," Aizen said, carrying a few bags. While him and Naruto were shunping back to the forest of death, they both hear a woman's scream coming from a compound ahead of them. Help! Help me someone! Please! Naruto and Aizen instantly perk up and stop. Naruto gives Aizen a silent signal telling him he's about to go, and found out what's going on. Aizen smiles and looks at him, then the knight, and says, helping people within your village even after what they have done to you. You're a good kid, Naruto. Doing something I would have never thought about. Naruto flashes a true smile. Hi, Aizen-sensei. You should know me by now. None who oppose shall live to see another day, Naruto said, putting his Aizen facade. He was about to Shuinpa before Aizen stopped him. Naruto, switch me swords. Naruto's head snaps back wide-eyed. A sensei why? Surely I am not ready to handle something as beautiful or powerful. Aizen chuckles. I believe you are ready to handle my sword. Your katas are flawless. All you need to do now is just get used to the blade. Aizen unties his sheath and gives him the sheath with the scabbard. Naruto takes it into his hands somewhat shakily. Taking off his sword and sash, he trades Aizen. Marveling at how beautiful the blade is, he ties the green sash on his waist and securing the sword. He looks at Aizen and bows. Aizen-sensei, I will make you proud using this sword. This means a lot to me. Thank you. Naruto then Shunpas to the compound. Aizen, while making his way to the forest, begins to think, smiling, you already made me proud, Naruto. You just don't know it yet. Uchiha compound. Mikoto POV. Mikoto was running around the compound frantically trying to escape from her son, seeing all members of her clan on the ground dead. Her older son, the prodigy of their great clan, just slaughtered everyone. She had to witness her son kill his father. Mikoto was having a hard time wrapping her head around this concept. She was shaking out of her thoughts when Itachi Uchiha, a graduating student at the top of his class at 7 after only 1 year, mastering their famed Daidojutsu the Sharingan at 8, passing the Chunin exams at 10, and becoming an ANBU captain at age 13. No doubt he was well beyond his years. Stood in front of Mikoto, blocking her only chance of escaping. Mikoto stood there frozen. The only thing now that was in her way was her son. Itachi looked at her emotionless. Sharingan blazing. Mikoto broke the silence. Why, Itachi-kun? Why did you slaughter our clan? Your father, your friends, tell me why. Mikoto said, on the verge of tears. Itachi stood there silent, until speaking in his monotone voice to test the capacity of my skills. Although you should now, Ototo is alive. I put him in a strong genjutsu. He will come to despise me. He will hate me and look to seek revenge. It ends here. Itachi took out his ninjato and looked at his mother for the last time, and silently whispers, Forgive me, Kasen, and brought his sword to slice her. Mikoto closed her eyes, believing she was going to die. It wasn't until she heard a loud clang in front of her. Opening her eyes, she sees this tall blonde man in front of her blocking her son's sword. She hears the words, I don't think that is a wise choice, Umbu-san. Naruto's POV. Naruto quickly shunped inside the compound. Upon entering, he saw bodies on the ground with blood everywhere. Quickly walking to some bodies on the ground and closely examining them, it seems these kills were fast with only a single strike. Looks more like this person did not want to trend too long here. Upon further inspection, he spots a little boy on the ground squirming and sweating. It seems he is the only one who is alive. But it seems he is in some nightmare, he thought. Quickly picking him up and setting him down near a house, he quickly shunpas further into the compound, and he comes to see two people. A man and a woman. By the looks of it, she must have been the one who was screaming. Seeing this man pull his own sword, coming down with an attack, Naruto quickly drew his sword to block his and said, I don't think that is a wise choice, Umbu-san. Normal POV. Itachi was naturally surprised to who this man was that blocked his sword. He backed up from him and examined him. He looked to have normal civilian clothing on, but with a green sash with a black scabbard. He responded back, Who are you and what are you doing here? Itachi said, forming his Mangekyo Sharingan. Naruto looks at him with a calm face and sheathes his sword and responds, I am here for I heard someone screaming and as a concerned citizen I came by to check. Itachi responds, From the way you drew your sword you don't look a civilian. Who are you really? That really isn't important now, Umbu-san. Tell me, why have you gone and murdered everyone here? I am very curious to hear your response. Itachi responds with the same answer he told his mom, I did this to test my capacity of my skills. Naruto looks at him questioningly, to test your capacity, huh? I hardly believe that's the case, Umbu-san. Why kill people who aren't up to your level when you could have clearly tested your skills among your fellow Umbu? Naruto said. Itachi for the first time in a while became slightly stunned at his statement before Naruto continues, So tell me again, Umbu-san, what is your true motive murdering everyone here? For a while Itachi didn't respond. He charged Naruto with his sword in hand, planning to end him by slicing him down. It wasn't until Naruto did something that surprised him. With one hand in his pocket, Naruto quickly drew his sword, with the other hand blocking the downward strike with ease. Pushing Itachi back with his sword, he turned his head to Mikoto, who was still frozen in place, and flashed her a slight smile, and says, "Do not worry your little beautiful face over this. This will be quick." Mikoto, on the other hand, blushes from cheek to cheek from the compliment she was given. She begins to wonder who this man is. Who is the blonde man? By the way he handles his sword, he must be good if he can block Itachi-kun with such ease. Itachi-kun isn't a slouch in all means. Mikoto starts to look at him up and down more closely. My God, look at that body. I can literally see every muscle on him. Man, I can just picture him being on bad thoughts. Mikoto, bad thoughts. He's probably half my age. But my God, look at him, she said somewhat dreamily. Naruto, on the other hand, sizes up Itachi. Very good, his form is good. But not as good as mine. His stance is very loose with a few holes. But it mainly relies on speed. His footwork is good from the way he charged at me. But what is with those eyes? I've never seen them before. It must be an enhancement to his skills if he has them activated. But to what? His physical skills, his chakra? Well, let's see how he proceeds. Itachi, flashing through hand signs, yells, "Katan, Gokaku no Jutsu, great fireball technique." A huge fireball shoots out of Itachi's mouth and heads towards Naruto. Naruto, unfazed, Shuinpa's right behind Itachi and whispers, "Too slow, Umbu-san." Itachi hears this with wide eyes. He didn't even see him move. Capitalizing on Itachi's stunned state, Naruto draws his sword to slice him on the back. Itachi grunts, while Naruto flicks the blade with blood on it off. Itachi then begins to fight him in taijutsu using a high-level stance. But much to Itachi's surprise, he is dodging with much ease. Backing off, Naruto begins to talk again. "Very good, Umbu-san, but in terms of skill you are nothing but a speck of dust compared to me." Itachi, knowing he was trying to get a rise out of him, says nothing while Naruto continues. "Tell me, is this what Umbu are capable nowadays? Looking at your skills, I assume you hold a high position. But why is it you cannot still strike me? I will tell you why. Your skills in A and BU standards are great, but compared to me I am on level you will not ever attain." Itachi, a little miffed, locks eyes with Naruto and whispers, "Tsukuyumi, Moon Reader." Naruto opens his eyes to see him shackled to a cross. An illusion. Impressive. But this still won't hold me, Naruto thought. Itachi appears in front of him. "In the world of Tsukuyumi I control time and space. For the next 72 hours you will live to see yourself die over and over again." Itachi said, examining the look on his face, was shocked to see Naruto void of any emotion and more shocked at what he did next. "It seems your eyes enhance your reflexes and gives you powerful techniques such as this." "Like I said, not enough," Naruto says, but instantly flares his Ryastu, purple Ryastu surrounding him, causing the illusion to crack slightly and then shatter. Itachi looks at him wide-eyed and states, "Impossible, the only people capable breaking that illusion are people who have the same eyes as me." Itachi yells, showing his first emotion throughout the whole fight. Naruto smirked, knowing he was starting to show his emotions, but just points out his finger and says, "Hado number 4. Byakurai." A streak of thunder shoot from his finger at fast break speed and stuck Itachi clear in the shoulder. Itachi grunts a little louder before gathering more of his chakra. Looking at Naruto, he retaliates. "Amaterasu, heavenly illumination." Again the flame does not reach Naruto at all for him being too fast. Mikoto, on the other hand, watching this battle, is just completely stunned. This man is single-handedly fighting her son with ease, who is known throughout the village as one of the strongest ninjas. "Oh my, I have to get to know this guy now. Hopefully he can tell me his name so I can give him an award," she thought with a blush, but turned her eyes back to the battle. Seeing the frustration on Itachi's face, he speaks again. "Your techniques are too slow. You must be low on chakra, I presume, considering you're slouched and panting. I believe I am done playing with you." Naruto begins to flare his spiritual pressure, as he did to Akane at their first meeting. Itachi soon finds himself on both knees, almost hyperventilating at the sheer weight he feels on his whole body. It lasts for about 30 seconds and looks up to see Naruto slightly smirking. "Like I said, Umbu-san, you are a nothing compared to me. That pressure you felt is my raw power alone. I only used a fraction of my power as a whole. Continuing to fight me is useless at this point." Itachi, for the first time in his life, looks at Naruto with fear. Figuring out that he was merely toying with him, an ANBU captain at that. Naruto began to speak again, "Knowing that I have this power, I would like to propose something to you." Itachi became genuinely interested in what he was going to say and said, "And what would that be?" Naruto looks at him and continues, "Right now I am not a ninja of this village, for I have yet to go the academy." Itachi became wide-eyed and his jaw dropped. This man who looked to be at least a teenager is someone who has not started the academy at all, which tells Itachi he must be younger than he really is. Naruto continues. After I go to the academy and graduate, then become a chunin, I am going to leave this village to start my own. What I propose is, since I know you are a strong and capable ninja, I want you to be one of my first captain among my ranks. Itachi was a bit skeptical at first. Your strength is believable, but where and how do you plan on making a village? Naruto looks at him with a sinister smile and says, It will be explained in due time if you plan to join me, that is. I can exterminate you like a fly right now if you wish. But I do see great potential in you, Anbu-san. If you don't mind me asking, what is your name? Itachi hesitates. Then responds, I am Itachi Uchiha of the Uchiha clan. What is your name? Naruto runs a hand through his hair and says, I am Naruto Namikaze. So Yachi-san, what do you say? Itachi and Mikoto for one was stunned hearing this. Naruto. As in Kushi-chan's child? Wow, never expected that, Mikoto thought. Itachi for one is still wrapping that head around his name and remembers. He's heard of him as the Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tailed Fox. He also knew the treatment the villagers gave him, for he was one of the A and B that was assigned to watch Naruto whether he knew it or not. Breaking him out of his thoughts, Naruto continues, Itachi-san, I sense Hokage Gigi and 4 other energies on their way here. Make your decision now, Naruto said, a little more intimidatingly, rising his spiritual pressure again. Itachi instantly recognizes the power and quickly responds. Give me time to think about it, Naruto-kun. All I can say is this was a mission given to me, for I will become a Nukenin. If I'm correct, we will see each other again very soon. Naruto sat there examining his options of his response. Sensing no deception, he responds. Very well, Itachi-san. I will let you leave. You better make sure we do keep in contact. If not, I will find you myself and will show you power you have yet to see. Naruto says indifferently. Itachi nods his head and says, Yes, we will. And also, can you please look over my Ka-san? I'm not sure how my brother will react to this incident, but can you also keep an eye on him as well? Naruto nods his head. Very well. Make sure you contact me in 3 to 4 years' time, for I will become an official ninja and set my plan into motion. Itachi turns around and about to set off until he says, Naruto-kun, I knew your parents. And they were good people. They would be proud of you. Naruto stiffens at the confession but smiles at him and says, I know, Itachi-san. This is why I'm doing this. For the people I care about. Without a word, Itachi disappears. Turning his gaze back to Mikoto standing there in complete shock. It was until Naruto snapped her out of it and said, Are you okay, pretty lady? Mikoto blushes again and says, Why, yes, I am. Thank you for saving me. I surely thought I was going to die, she said before throwing herself into the arms of Naruto. Being Naruto as he is, he puts his hand on her back to gently soothe her and starts whispering things in her ear to cool her down. Couple of moments later, her crying dies down, and she starts to inch away from him. Naruto couldn't help but take a good look at her. She was beautiful in his arms. A fair complexion, with beautiful long black bangs come down her face with no blemishes. She looked to have a slender frame, and he could tell she was a ninja from her toned slim legs, along with a chest that looked to be at least a cup holding firmly in her brow. Mikoto, on the other hand, was enjoying being engulfed in his arms. Feeling all his muscles from his arms to his chest. Being held in his tight muscles had her feel safe. His aura was the most interesting to her. It made you feel as he is closely examining you just to break you down. His aura made you feel like you are nothing to him, and you can't touch him as he fights. On the battlefield, he seemed like her older son, if not more serious on a scarier scale. But now his aura feels like he will take care of you. And nothing will harm you. Being interrupted out of her thoughts by a hand to her chin, Naruto brings her chin up and asks, Are you okay now? She could only nod. He asks with a grin, So can I get the name of the princess I just saved? Mikoto can only blush hard and stutter out, And my name is Mikoto. Mikoto Uchiha. Naruto smiles at her more, giving Mikoto a harder blush. That is a beautiful name, Mikoto-chan. Why was he trying to kill you? Naruto said, still blushing from the affectionate term stutters. I don't know. He was my oldest son. Why would he betray our clan like that? Why kill all his family, friends, and everyone he loves? She yells, tears pouring out again. Naruto, looking a little sad, brings her into a tight hug, and she instantly buries her head in his chest and just rubs her back until she calms down. Mikoto, enjoying the moment, hears Naruto speak up. I would love to sit here and hold you all day, Mikoto-chan, but I have to go now. Mikoto looks up and teases back. Ah, why? I am that bad of company? Naruto cracks a slight chuckle and says smoothly. No, not at all, Mikoto-chan. Any man in his right mind would enjoy this. Would it make you feel better if I told you I am enjoying holding you? Mikoto blushes even redder than this time and couldn't say a word. Naruto starts to hear Akane and growl a bit, making her presence known for the first time in this encounter. Akane's mindscape. She was witnessing what Mikoto was doing and started to growl. How dare she shamelessly flirt with him? Why Naruto-kun? Wait, my Naruto-kun, when did that happen? Though I wouldn't mind making him mine. And I mean all of him. She thought, playing certain sexual scenarios in her mind, making her nose bleed at all the images. Back to Naruto and Mikoto. Seeing Mikoto blush, Naruto only smiles, releasing her, giving them a little space, and says, "Well, I must get going. Gigi will be here in second. When he asks who saves you, tell him everything that happened here. I'm sure Gigi would at least like to know I'm alive at least." She nods her head as Naruto turns around to try and get back to the forest, but hears something from Mikoto that makes him flinch. "Where are you going, and is it true? Are you going to leave this village?" Naruto stops and stands still. Turning around to look at her, he sighs and runs a hand through his hair and says, "Yes, I am. When I become of Chunin rank, I will leave this wretched village to start my own." Mikoto says, "I want to go with you," she says, making Naruto slightly stunned before reining himself in. "What would be your motive? You have been in this village your whole life. What would be in it for you to defect? You still have a child here." "Why?" Naruto said, turning his facial features serious. "I have nothing to live for except my son. I want to know how this will affect him in the future. I believe he will seek revenge. I'm hoping I can steer him away from that. But all I know is I want to start anew. This place will only serve as a memory of what happened," Mikoto retorts. Naruto, studying here, seeing the logic in her statement, speaks up. "Very well, you can come. But you will have to wait a couple years. For am I on a training with my sensei away from the village?" Mikoto nods and asks. "So you're coming back then in a few years? What if you don't come back? What if you decided to leave me? Where am I going to go? What am I going to do?" she yells hysterically. Not knowing how to proceed and get her to quiet down, he does what he thinks is right at the moment. Walking towards her, he gently grabs her cheek and caresses it. Then follows it up with a deep, searing kiss to her lips. Mikoto was stunned for a moment before deepening the kiss. Surprising Naruto by her actions, he begins to deepening as well, making her moan into the kiss. A few seconds later, he's the first to pull back and says, "There. Remember that kiss, Mikoto-chan. It's my promise to you that I'll be coming back." Without another word, he shunpas out of the compound back to the forest to try and catch up with Aizen. Mikoto, still in a daze, thought one thing: wow, he has the softest lips ever. And he's a great kisser. Mikoto suddenly hears a voice. Mikoto-chan, are you alright?" she hears someone say. She focuses her gaze on the person, and it appears to be Sarutobi and Samae behind him. "Hello, Hokage-sama, and yes, I am fine." Sarutobi notices her glazed eyes and asks what happened here, who did this. Mikoto began to explain how everyone in the compound got slaughtered by her oldest son, even her husband, leaving everyone dead except her son. Then she tells about how she almost died if it weren't for a blonde swordsman. Sarutobi, being a little more interested, asked who it was. Her answer shocked Sarutobi. Explaining it was Naruto, she began to tell him how he beat Itachi with ease and was toying with him. This further shocked Sarutobi to his core. He knew Itachi was one of the best ninjas in the village. Even the ANBU were amazed. No one was ever up to Itachi's level during his time in the ANBU. Hearing that an 8-year-old was capable of feat shocked them. Especially a purple-haired sword-loving kunoichi in the group. Remembering what he looked like in the Forest of Death, she began to blush under her mask. But what interested her was the boy's supposed sword skill. She knew Itachi-senpai was excellent at sword and had almost to no flaws. She knew she had to meet him and maybe test her skills. Sarutobi was in deep thought about it. "Naruto-kun, it's almost only 1 year, and you're able to single-handedly defeat one of my best operatives. What of training have you been doing?" Sarutobi, snapping out of his thoughts, tells ANBU to fetch Sasuke and get him and Mikoto to the hospital. Both Sarutobi and Mikoto ended their night with thoughts of the same blonde boy. With Naruto. A couple minutes later, reaching a clearing, he spots Aizen meditating. Aizen, sensing him, speaks up. "How was it, Naruto-kun?" Naruto sits down next to him and lays back on the grass to gaze at the sky and says, "Nothing I couldn't handle. It seems my Hado has gotten better in power and accuracy. Not only that, but my speed was no match for the man I fought. It seems he held a high position within the ANBU." Aizen smirks and says, "Wouldn't expect anything else from you. Your training is almost over. And for that, the only thing left is to find your Zanpakuto spirit. What did Kyubi say about training, by the way?" Naruto thought about it and said, yes, let me ask her. Aka-chan, are you there? Naruto says through the mental link. Akane responds. Yes, I am Naruto-kun, and to answer your sensei's question, I will help you with everything from chakra control to elemental chakra and learning those just as your Hokage gave you. We should begin with that after you learn your Zanpakuto spirit. Naruto nods and thanks her but was interrupted when Akane yells again, and you better come in here tonight so we can cuddle. Naruto chuckles and responds, well, who would have thought the QB no Yoko would want to cuddle with someone like me? Well, I wouldn't miss it for the world. Akane blushes, glad that Naruto couldn't see her right now. Naruto, breaking the link, tells Aizen everything Akane said. Being pleased with the answer, Aizen says, well, rest up tonight. For the rest of this month you will try to confront your Zanpakuto spirit. After that it will have been 1 year. For the next 3 you will be refining these techniques to mere perfection. If everything works out you should be able to surpass me. Also know that once your training is complete I will have to leave. No, contacting your spirit doesn't always come easily. You might have to spend weeks on it. Naruto, frowning at the thought of his sensei leaving, nodding, says, hi sensei, I promise these next 3 years you will be proud of me and I will surpass you. Aizen smiles and thinks, you already have made me proud, Naruto-kun. I just wish I could stick around and see your success. Unknown to both of them, Naruto's sword began to vibrate. Finally, Naruto-kun. I will be finally able to meet you. Finally someone who will use my potential to change this world. I can't wait. That night Naruto went inside his mindscape during his sleep to cuddle with Akane. They spent the whole night telling each other about their lives, likes and dislikes, etc. Akane even explained to him that his mom was her previous vessel and that she was manipulated into attacking Konoha by a man named Uchiha Madara. Crying because of it, Naruto soothed her and vowed to kill this man for her. Akane instantly knew that day when she was being held like a lover, talking to each other, and him telling she was going to avenge her. She knew instantly she was beginning to fall for her vessel, surprising herself at how quick she fell in love. But she then realized she cared for him all along, and it took certain actions for her to confirm it. She only needed the right time to tell him that she was in love with him. 1 month later, 1 year finished. It's been almost 1 month since Aizen gave Naruto his sword to begin his Jinzen with, but for some reason he still wasn't making progress. Noting that his sensei said it might take longer, he started to clean the sword, making sure it was shiny. He then put it on his lap and began to meditate again. Feeling a different feeling this time than all the other times he's meditated, he tries to focus on it more. More and more, then feeling becomes more powerful until he opens his eyes. Kyoka suggests his world. Opening his eyes, Naruto finds himself in a field with a pond in it. The moon reflecting off the pond, being that it's night time. He looks up to see the sky. Stars spread out throughout the sky. He only uttered one word. Beautiful. Then he hears a voice to the side of him. She then responds. It sure is Naruto-kun. Turning his head to the side, he sees a girl that might be able to match Akane's beauty sitting on large rock. A woman wearing a beautiful white and light black kimono, with beautiful light white hair with a flower tucked behind it. She also had dark blue eyes and beautiful plump red lips. Picture Sodi no Shiryuki from Bleach. Naruto for the first time is stunned by someone's beauty. He never expected his Zanpakuto spirit to be so beautiful. Composing himself, he walks to her and stands in front of her and begins to speak. I assume you are my Zanpakuto spirit, he says, then reaches over to grab her hand and place a kiss on her knuckles before continuing. You truly are a beautiful spirit. Kyoka never imagined her wielder to be so bold. Blushing up a storm after the kiss, smiles at him. I have been waiting to meet you, Naruto-kun. You are much more handsome up close, Kyoka says while still blushing. Naruto smiles and replies, thank you, but while you can give me a word to describe my looks, I have yet to find a word that fully described your beauty. Kyoka, now blushing even redder than before, said. You are very smooth with words, Naruto-kun. I only call it how I see it. So what do you mean when you said you have been waiting for me? Naruto says. I have been watching your training, and let me say I am impressed. Your resolve is unshakable, and your determination is, I know, will not waver. I know for a fact you will be able to wield me at higher state than Aizen can, Kyoka said, trying to control her blush. Silence reigned over them for a few minutes before Kyoka speaks up. Tell me, Naruto-kun, do you know my name? For a minute Kyoka looks at him silently, hoping he does. Naruto gazes at her with a soft expression and says, Of course I do, my beautiful mirror flower. It is my honor to meet you, Kyoka suggests to Kyoka. All of a sudden lunges at Naruto and starts to kiss him with much need. Very shocked that his Zanpakuto spirit is kissing him, decides to give her what she wants and deepens the kissing, sucking on her top lip. then proceeding to using their tongues. After 5 minutes and much need air, she snuggles into Naruto's chest and whispers, "I'm so glad you know my name, Naruto-kun." Naruto, with his chin on top of her head, says, "I'm glad too. I know that with you by my side I will become feared throughout the shinobi world. We will do this together." Without another word, he steadily puts her at arm's length and says, "I need to get back now. I promise I will visit you often. Goodbye, Kyoka-chan," and with that giving her a kiss to the forehead, then fades away. Kyoka sitting there on the rock thinking about the lips that just graced not only her forehead but lips and the term he used her name in. Such a kind soul for those he cares about, yet a man who will not fear to cut you down at an instant. You won't have to be alone anymore. I will always be there for you, Kyoya thought out loud. She was interrupted from a voice of a female behind her. "I see you meet him too." She turns around to see Akane leaning against a tree. Kyoka responds, "Yeah. He is a wonderful man. Not to mention a cute one at that." Akane chuckles. "You got that right. So what's your name? Considering now that we share the same mindscape." Kyoka stands up, walks over to her, puts out her hand out. "Kyoka suggested," she says. Akane accepts the greeting. "Well, I am the Kyubi no Yoko, but you can call me Akane," she says. Kyoka was then spoke. "Nice to meet you. At least I have someone here to talk to." Akane nods her head. "I agree, it does get pretty lonely in here. But now at least he has 2 women that will love him and never leave him alone no matter what." Kyoka looks at her in surprise. "How do you know that I'm in love with him?" Akane can only laugh again. "That look you had on your face when you talked about him. It's the same look I get when I see him or think about him. The look of wanting to love him," Akane says with a dreamy sigh. Kyoka blushes. "Well, at least we have one thing in common," Kyoka says with a slight giggle. Akane speaks, "Not only that, but I think there is another girl gunning for him. So we got competition now." Kyoka simply states, grinning with a little blush. "Well, it matters to me not. For me and Naruto, I know will become close within the next 3 years. Hopefully very close. You and me both," sister Akane and Kyoka giggle. Back to the real world. With that, Naruto woke up with a sudden surge of Ryastu. Alerting Aizen, he comes to see Naruto's purple Ryatsu even thicker and denser than before. With the sudden flow stopping, he gets Naruto's attention. "Well, I see you found out its name. Your Ryasta is much heavier now," he said with a smile. Naruto only nods, then gets up to stretch. "Yes, I did," Naruto said, admiring at the blade. He began sensing the slight hum. Then he hears her voice. "Stop looking at me like that, Naruto-kun. You're making me blush." "Kyoka-chan?" Naruto said. "Yes, it's me. I'm glad we can talk now, Naruto-kun. Now that you know my name, we have a stronger bond, thus sharing my mindscape here with Akane," Kyoka said. "Hi, Naruto-kun," Akane piped up excitedly. "Well, hello, my beautiful vixen," Naruto said. Akane, on the other hand, blushed while Kyoka pouted. "Ah, Naruto-kun, what about me?" she asked cutely. Naruto smiled. "Well, how can I not notice my beautiful moon flower of equal beauty as well?" he said smoothly. Kyoka blushed. "That's more like it." Snapping Naruto out of the conversation, Naruto continues, "Now that I have found my blade, I am now ready to perfect my Shinigami skills along with my Shurikai and Shinobi skills." Aizen looks at him seriously. "These next 3 years are only going to get harder. You will have to push yourself through level I could have never attained. You will aim to be perfect in all skills of Shinigami and Shinobi skills alike. Are you sure you want this?" Aizen said. Without a doubt of hesitation, he said, "I understand the trials that I will face and I am ready to move forward. Especially with my beautiful moon flower and vixen and you, Aizen-sensei." "Right," Naruto said in his head. "Damn, Naruto-kun, we will be with you every step of the way. We will never leave you," Akane said. Kyoka Mada then speaks up. "Yes, Naruto-kun, we will make sure you are the strongest to where no can oppose us." Naruto nods in thankful manner. "I have no time to waste. Let's get started, Aizen-sensei." 4 years later. After finally meeting his Zanpakuto spirit, Naruto began training his skills non-stop to try and reach attainable levels no human can possibly go. Naruto perfected his katos to a T. Every strike he can deliver are instant kills. He perfected his swings to such a degree one he can cleave off any body part with ease. His Zanjusta skills have defiantly surpassed Aizen's by a mile. Naruto's Kido and Bakudo exceptionally grew also. He is able to cast level 90 Bakudos and Hados and above without an incantation. His flash step has also increased. He is faster than Aizen now, to the point he is untraceable to the human eye. Him and Kyoka Suigetsu trained with each other constantly. She explained to him about her Shurikai's effect. She mentioned that whenever anyone takes at least one glance at the sword, they will be in complete hypnosis, being able to control a person's 5 senses: touch, smell, sight, hearing, and taste. He began to train with her extensively, and with that the relationship between Kyoka and Naruto deepened, making the tactics for the use of the Shurikai incredible. They started to bond so much Naruto would come in the mindscape every night to cuddle or talk with her. After training his Shinigami skills, Akane began to teach Naruto about chakra. Akane first helped him by unlocking his chakra. He naturally had an enormous pool of it combined with his Ryastu. He then began to work on basic chakra control, and with this he would be able to perform justice without wasting extra energy. He knew that his Shinigami skills would be the skills he will be using the most of the time, but he thought it would be good to have some variety. So for a couple months he worked his chakra control to at least mid-Jounin A and BU level. He also mastered the scrolls that his Jiji gave him to a high degree. In the scrolls were wind techniques which Akane believes he has a strong affinity for, water which he is decent at, and fire which he was not good at, along with the 3 academy justice he will need to know. Just like Kyoka, Akane and Naruto also got to spend a lot of time together in his mindscape. They both grew close to each other, almost like lovers. It was hard for Akane not tell him she was in love with him. She was afraid of what Naruto might say, so she kept hidden to try and find the right time to tell him. So far Naruto's skills were above and beyond he could have hoped for. So where do we find our blonde hero now? Here we find him walking on a dirt road back to the village. His appearance has dramatically changed. Standing at 6 feet 4 inches with a lean frame. Hair that flows even more than before. With his hand laying on the hilt of Kyoka sitting snugly on his left side. He no longer sports his civilian clothing anymore. He wears the exact replica of Aizen's outfit. All white, high-collared with black trimmings with a purple-like waistband. He decided to wear this in honor of Aizen and for what he has taught Naruto. Naruto and Aizen grew very close within the years, moving past the sensei and student relationship to almost a degree of father and son. For Naruto, he had no problem calling him Tusan, especially for all the things he taught him. To be manipulating, cunning in battle, sharp and prepared. To know your opponent's moves, making a plan so you're 3 steps ahead of them. Thinking about it now, he lost the only person he could have called close to being a father. Flashback. Shatter, Kyoka Suigetsu. Naruto says, his body shattering like glass. With long slash to his Aizen's back. Aizen, knowing he can't keep up, he shakily walks forward with a smile and slumps down before speaking. You have done well these past years, Naruto. You have surpassed me in many ways. You have excelled at everything I have taught you. All there is left to do now is go back to your village and show them who you have become. Naruto turns around and bows. Thank you, Aizen-sensei. If it weren't for you or the Hogokyu, I would not be here in the first place. I owe all my skills and training to you. Aizen smiles, stands up and looks at his hands slowly withering away. Naruto yells, Aizen-sensei, you're disappearing. It seems so, Naruto. I believe my purpose here has been fulfilled. I guess this is good by Naruto, Aizen says with a slight smile. Naruto on the inside wanted to cry and hug his sensei, but on the outside he shouldn't. In memory of Aizen's training, he told himself he will remain calm and collect as ever. Naruto walks up to him eye to eye. Aizen-sensei. We have been together throughout these years. You have taught me many things. You showed me what it's like to have someone care for you. I know this might sound weird and I know I have a real father, but I've always considered you one Tusan, Naruto says, smiling. Aizen goes wide-eyed at his confession, but then just smiles a true smile for the last time. I know you have, Naruto, and I am honored to think you gave me a title that means so much. You know what's funny? A couple 100 years ago I would have never involved myself with such trivial things such as emotions. In my mind I believed it slowed me down in my conquest of power. Isn't it ironic that now, thinking about the things I've done in my past life and training you for years, I just couldn't help but grow fond of you, Naruto-kun. Aizen continued. Close your eyes, Naruto, I want to give you something. Naruto closes his eyes. Aizen then materializes the same clothing he has on. Okay, Naruto, open your eyes. Naruto then opens his eyes and sees the same outfit Aizen is wearing in his hands. I thought you would need some new clothes on your way back. Just a little something you can remember me by. Naruto takes it in his hand, threatening to shed tears. He goes behind a tree to change. He comes out looking like an exact replica of Aizen. Well, you look pretty good, Naruto, Aizen says. Thank you, Aizen-sen. No thank you, Tusan. Naruto says, bowing. Aizen's arm, then his body began to fade. Well, looks like I'm being absorbed now. Never stray from your goals, Naruto. Make me proud. Show them a true power of a god, Aizen then vanishes. Closing his eyes with a lone tear falling out, whispers, I will, Aizen-sensei. I promise. With that, he begins to walk out of the forest. Back to Naruto. As Naruto was reminiscing, he hears a couple men from the trees and bushes and a woman screaming far ahead. Naruto, being curious, sets out to find where the noise is coming from. Hopping from tree to tree, he spots where the noise is coming from. He sees what it looks to be like ninjas, but not from the village of Konoha. But what grabs his attention is this woman on the ground with multiple cuts, bruises, and some torn clothes. His attention turned to her beautiful ruby-red eyes. They resembled Itachi's but more beautiful and majestic. He can tell she was a kunoichi from the Hitai she was wearing and the pouch for weapons. But what they started to do made his blood boil. All three of the ninjas were going to try to pin her down and rape her. One man, which he determined was the leader, began to rip her clothes off and started to pull his dick out ready to rape her. Naruto shunped at the blink of an eye. Kurenai's POV. Kurenai just got back from a mission to Suna. A simply C-rank delivery mission to the Kazekage and back. But halfway into her getting home, she encountered 3 ninjas from Kumo of all ninjas. She determined they all looked at least to be mid-chunin to jounin. She put up a good fight until one of the ninjas hit her from her blind spot. Well, you put up a good fight, bitch. One of the ninjas said. Hey, you wanna have fun while the bitch is down? Said the other Kumo ninja. Kurenai's eyes widened when she heard the word fun. She knew what they wanted to do. Alright, we can have some fun. Both of you pin her down. I'm going to have a go at her first, said the supposed leader of the group. Both of the Kumo ninjas restrained both her arms down so she couldn't use jutsu. The man that wanted to go first decided to rip some of her bandaged dress off, exposing some of her bra and well-endowed chest. Kurenai was now starting to panic. She began to cry and scream and told them to stop. The man didn't listen to him but just sat there continuing to rip her bottom part of the dress, grinning like a madman. He saw her panties exposed and ripped them off viciously. He then pulled out his penis ready to enter her. You have such beautiful eyes. I want you to watch with those eyes what I'm about to do. Kurenai was now crying and began to think, this is it. Just a simple delivery mission. Now I'm going to get defiled by these sick men. Here I thought my first time was going to be special. God, please, anyone, someone help me. She closed her eyes, accepting the inevitable. Seconds passed and she didn't feel anything. She opened her eyes to see the man that was about to rape her without a head. She turned her eyes to see a tall blonde man with an all-white attire with a sword in his right hand, with a single long strain of blonde hair floating in the wind. She looked at her handsome blonde savior in awe. Normal POV. Naruto reached him in a second and drew his sword to cut his head off, his head rolling away from his body. Both of the ninjas that had Kurenai pinned down jumped back with her in their grasp. Hey, who the hell are you and why the fuck did you just do that for? One of the ninjas said. Naruto stood there voiceless. Quickly he shunped in between the 2 ninjas and grabbed Kurenai and went back to his same spot. The 2 ninjas couldn't believe what they saw in terms of speed. They didn't see him move and they were looking at him the whole time. Naruto, with Kurenai, who still had tears flowing from her eyes, looked at her, took off his coat and put it around her and smiled. The feeling of his coat around her made her feel safe. This made Kurenai feel a little warm inside by the gesture and his smile. Don't worry now. I will handle it from here. You just rest now, Naruto said as he laid her by a tree, turning his gaze back to the ninjas. You know, you 3 were about to do an action I deem acceptable in terms of death. I am sure you can guess what it was. Flicking the blood off his sword, Naruto continued. Now that one of your own is dead, that leaves just you 2. Tell me, were you planning on taking part of your leader's actions? The 2 Kumo ninja looked at him as if they had seen a ghost. Both were having a hard time trying to utter a word until one spoke up. No man, we didn't want to do anything. He forced us both, said one of the men shakily, knowing that this man can end his life with just a swing of his sword. Naruto, looking at him, said, You believe I am naive enough to not know that you guys suggested it in the first place? Obviously you do not take me seriously. Allow me to show you how serious I am. Knowing he was going to attack, the 2 ninja decided to attack first, both throwing many shurikens and kunais at Naruto. Naruto only closed his eyes until he was both behind them in a flash, sheathing his sword. Walking back to Kurenai, the 2 ninjas can only stare at his back as both of their heads rolled off their body. Kurenai watched in complete shock at how easily he handled the 3 ninja, snapping her out of her thoughts. Excuse me, miss, are you okay? Naruto said softly, smiling. Kurenai thought his smile as beautiful before responding. I am I was so scared I thought I was going to die, and they were going to. Before she can finish another word, she felt two muscular arms around her. Naruto whispered. It's okay. Let it out. They are not here anymore. They can't hurt you. Kurenai instantly hugged him tighter, knocking him on his butt, and sobbed out loud. A few minutes passed and her crying began to die down. Noticing this, Naruto speaks up. Miss Kurenai. Kurenai Yahi, she says with a smile. Naruto smiles back, which makes Kurenai feel warm again, and says, Well, Kurenai-chan, I suppose you are a kunoichi from Konoha? She only nods, sort of liking the affectionate way he used her name. Naruto continues, Well, that's good. I am on my way there too. We can both go together. Standing up, he offers Kurenai a hand. She begins to get up until she almost falls due to her injuries. Naruto catches her and helps her back up. You can't move on your own. I will carry you back to the village, Naruto says, leaving no room for debate. He picks her up bridal style and begins to hop from tree to the village. I never got a chance to thank you. What is your name, by the way? Kurenai asks. Naruto looks back down and say, My name is Naruto Aizen Namikaze. Glad to have your acquaintance, Kurenai-chan. Kurenai's eyes widen at his last name. But while she was in his arms, she turned her gaze slightly up to look at this blonde man. Namikaze? Is he related to the fourth? Just exactly who exactly is he? I might have to ask Hokage-sama. Further inspecting him, she feels his body against hers. His arms are so muscular though. Not only that, but his chest is rock hard. And his coat smells so good. How come I've never seen this man in Konoha before? He doesn't seem like a pervert even in the state I'm in. His skills are amazing too. His swordsmanship skills I think can rival Yugao-chan as well. Well, since he's going back to the village, I might be able to get to know him more. She thought before unconsciously inhaling his scent of his jacket, followed by snuggling into his chest. Sensing this, Naruto can only help but smile. Konoha gates. Spotting two guards, one stops him. Halt, who are you and why is a Konoha kunoichi in your arms? Naruto responds, she was attacked by multiple enemy ninjas. She has many cuts and bruises and possibly broken bones. She could not walk by herself, so I carried her here. The guard, looking at explanation, nodded his head. Very well, bring her to the hospital, the man said. Naruto nodded and Shunpei inside. Both guards a little wide-eyed at the technique. Hey, what kind of technique was that? One guard said. I don't know, but it was so fast, said the other guard. Inside Konoha. Looking for the hospital, Naruto finally spots it and enters. He runs up to the front desk and tells the one of the nurses what happens, and she began to take her from her arms. Before she is about to be taken by the nurse, he stops and looks at her, not before kissing her forehead and whispering. I hope we can meet again sometime, Kurenai-chan. You can keep my jacket until the next time we meet. A mild blush could be found on her cheeks. He then begins to walk away. While one thought was on Kurenai's mind, oh, we will meet again, Naruto. I can promise you that. And I'm glad I get to keep your jacket. It gives me a reason to see you. At the Hokage Tower. Sarutobi was doing paperwork as always. Taking a break for a little bit, his thoughts began to drift off back to Naruto. It's almost been 4 years, like he said. He wasn't sure if he was coming back, but he surely hoped so. He hears a knock on his door. Come in, he says. He spots Mikoto Uchiha enter. It's been almost 4 years since the incident with the clan. It seems she has partly recovered, but she was still having trouble at times. It seems Itachi was right about Sasuke. Ever since he recovered from the incident, he began to train non-stop to try and get revenge for what his brother did. Mikoto tried her best to try and steer him away from getting revenge, but it didn't work. He even began to turn a cold shoulder to his mother, berating her on how she is no help to him. How are you, Mikoto-chan? How is Sasuke? Mikoto could only sigh. Well, I am okay. Just trying to get by. Sasuke is still the same as ever. Nothing I do works. He is too caught up being the avenger for the clan. Sarutobi only nods. Well, I can only hope that he does stray and finds a different path. Sarutobi was about to continue until he hears another knock. Come in. As soon as the door opened, both Sarab and Mikoto spots a tall blonde young man with an all-white attire and with a sword snugly strapped to his side. But what caught his eyes were his whisker marks and blue eyes. He stares before he sputters out. And Naruto? Naruto can only smile. It is me, Gigi. I have missed you. Sarutobi only stared at him. Quickly got his bearing back and begins to speak. My boy, it's been 4 years. You surely have matured. How have you been, Naruto-kun? While Sarutobi and Naruto were having their conversation, Mikoto can only look at awe and shock. Standing before her was not the handsome man she saw 4 years ago. If it was possible, he got even more handsome. His aura seemed to feel more fierce. It could tell you that he was not someone you would want to mess with. "And then Naruto-kun?" Mikoto utters. Breaking from their conversation, Naruto looks at Mikoto only for him to inspect her. She looked even better than she did before. He was glad the incident didn't affect her that much. He smiles. "Hello, Mikoto-chan. I told you I would come back." Mikoto leaps from where she's standing into Naruto's arms, hugging him tightly. She begins to sob a little. Naruto only soothes her and whispers, "I missed you, Mikoto-chan." Mikoto felt her heart skip a little. He missed me? She thought. After a few minutes, Sarutobi speaks up. "Well, now that you're acquainted with each other, what can you say about your skills?" "I can say now with the training I have that my skills are untouchable to anyone here," Naruto says. "Oh, you don't say, my boy? Well, still up for that sparring match that I said we would have?" Sarutobi says, smirking. Naruto only chuckles slightly. "Yes, I am, GG. Know that I will not take it easy on you." Sarutobi only smiles. "Wouldn't have it any other way, Naruto-kun. Now that you're here, I have to tell you something." Naruto intently listening. "I believe you will want to take up the last name of your father, I assume? Well, I will be inviting all the jounins and higher-ups to watch our sparring match. If you can beat me, I will announce your name and give you the inheritance your mom and dad would have wanted you to have, and I also have a certain law that I believe you should be aware of since you're taking your father's name," Sarutobi says. Naruto responds, "Very well. What will my inheritance include, and what is the law? And I also have one request for our spar." Sarutobi responds, "Well, that will include your money from your father's bank account, and not only that but his house that he used to live in. This law is called the CRA, or the Clan Restoration Act. It is for people who are the last of their clan. Being that you are the last Uzumaki and Namikaze, you will have to marry a certain number of girls before you're 18. I'm just letting you know before the council tries to implore it on you. Also, what would that request be, my boy?" Naruto looked a little shocked at the words he said. "Wow, never thought I would have to marry multiple girls. Well, I accept and know that I will not take any shit from the council and know that I will deal with whatever they have to say in a couple days. As for my request, I would like to have your best swordsman here to test my sword skills," Naruto says. "Are you sure about me getting our strongest swordsman, Naruto-kun?" Sarutobi says. Naruto only nods. "Very well, it will be done. Tomorrow at noon at the Chunin exam stadium. So tell me, how did your training go?" he says. With the two began to catch up about what happened these past years. Mikoto, on the other hand, had different thoughts. He will be in the CRA, huh? Well, this might be good. I will just have to play my cards right and see where this takes us. What Naruto didn't know was that Mikoto developed a crush on him a few years after she was saved by him. After talking with Sarutobi, he follows the direction he gave him to find his house. Many people were looking at him weirdly as if they have never seen him before, while many of the women were looking at him with blushes and mild lust. Well, at least they aren't calling me demon brat now. But we will see how long that lasts, Naruto thought. "Aka-chan, Kyoka-chan, you guys there?" Naruto says. "Yes, I am, Naruto-kun. How does it feel to be back in this village?" Akane says with disgust. "It's alright. But we will see how they all react tomorrow at the news of who I am. And how they spat on their Hokage's last wish," Naruto says. Kyoka speaks up. "Don't worry about it, Naruto-kun. I can't wait to see their faces tomorrow when you showcase your skills." Naruto only nods. "I'm glad I have you beautiful girls in my life. I also want to tell you guys something tonight. But no, we will show the people in Konoha that I have no equal. And those who oppose will only fall to my blade." Both girls lightly blushed at the affectionate words he said, while they can only nod, wondering what he wanted to talk about. Looking up, he sees the address. He spots a gate with some seal on it. Remembering what his Gigi said about putting his hand on his seal, as it will only open if it recognizes the chakra signature, he puts his hand on the seal and begins to channel chakra. A couple minutes later, the gate opened, leading him to a mansion-type house. Upon entering, he spots a huge living room with a big kitchen with many portraits and books. Looking around even more, he spots some type of basement, and sees that there is a seal on it. Channeling his chakra on it again, it opens, and what he discovers is a library full of justice from at least every element. Closing it back up, he heads back up and heads towards the stairs and finds at least 6 to 7 rooms. Entering the main bedroom, he spots a picture of his dad and mom holding him as a baby. Walking up to it, he trails his hand on it, and whispers, "To-san, Ka-san. I will make you proud." Walking out of the room and back down the stairs, he spots a garden out back. He spots some flowers still in perfect condition, and on the other side of garden is what looks like to be a training field. Very impressed with his house, he returns back upstairs to catch some sleep. Changing into just his boxers, he lays down in the main bedroom and enters his mindscape. Akane and Kyoka's mindscape. Opening his eyes, Naruto walks up to the Japanese-like mansion. Opening the door, he sees Kyoka and Akane chatting. "Hello, my lovely ladies," Naruto said. "Hi, Naruto-kun," they both said in happy unison. Smiling, Naruto then talks. "Come on, girls, let's go upstairs and rest. I'm tired." Kyoka and Akane happily get up and wrap their arms around him, walking up the beds. This was a common occurrence throughout the years of Naruto's training. Bonding with them, he became closer with each of them. Sleeping every night with them, kissing them, and just talking with them. Upon reaching the bed, he flops down while Akane and Kyoka take one of his sides and snuggle up into him. Seeing this, Naruto gives Akane a kiss on the lips and then turns his head to give Kyoka a kiss on her lips. Both girls letting out a dreamy sigh. Silence was there for about 5 minutes till Naruto spoke up. "Girls, I have an important question to ask you, and before you speak, let me finish." With a nod from both girls, Naruto continued. "As you know now that I am the last of my clan. Being in this village, I will have to be in some called a Clan Restoration Act. This means I will have to have multiple wives. My question is if you're okay with it, and if you are, I would like to take both you as my first wives." Akane and Kyoka went wide-eyed. "I know these past 4 years I have gotten close to you both, and I can honestly say I have deep feelings for both of you. I find everything about you guys wonderful. I feel peaceful when I'm with you too, you guys keep me sane. So will you please be my wives? I promise that I will give you a ring, but not now," Naruto said. Kyoka and Akane were crying now. Naruto, mistaking for something he did wrong, asked, Hey Aka-chan, Kyoka-chan, you okay?" They both jumped on him and smothered him with kisses for 5 minutes, which turned out to be a makeout session for the three. Finally, Akane spoke up first. "Yes, Naruto-kun, I would love to be your wife. I have always had deep feelings for you ever since you accepted me. I love you." Naruto was shocked at her saying she loves him. He smiles and goes to plant a kiss on her. He then turns to Kyoka. "I would love to be your wife as well, Naruto-kun. I have cared for you as soon as you started training with Aizen. I have fallen for you as well. I was just afraid to tell you. But it would make me happy to be your wife," Kyoka says with her head down. Naruto, with a bright smile, picks it up and kisses her as well. "Also, Naruto-kun, since you have to marry multiple wives, make sure that we approve first. We don't want weak girls with you. We both won't tolerate it." Naruto nods and says, "I will promise you 2 things. 1, I will love both of you or any other girl that comes our way equally. And 2, I will get you girls out of this mindscape so we can be together on the outside." Akane and Kyoka can see the determined look in his eyes and only smiled. A smile that was reserved for him. Naruto then kissed them both and whispers something again into their ear that made that heart almost come out of their chests. "I love you both. Aka-chan and Kyoka-chan," Naruto said before falling asleep. Both Akane and Kyoka both looked at each other in surprise and smiled at their new husband's confession. Both snuggling up very close to him that night. The next day. Naruto awoke the next day close to noon in the main room of house. Washing his face and putting on his white attire and strapping on Kyoka on his side, he couldn't help but think what he told Kyoka and Akane last night. "I really do care for them. They mean everything to me. They have been there from the start. I will learn to love them." Walking out of his house and locking it, began to walk down the road to the Chunin Stadium where he will be tested. He spots many ninja entering in the stadium talking about who is going to fight. Seeing the entrance, he enters the Chunin Stadium. As everyone was taking their seats, a purple-haired kunoichi with a trench coat and fishnet clothing leaving nothing to the imagination walks up to a ruby-eyed Genjusta mistress who already has taken her seat. "Hey Kure-chan," Anko says. Turning her gaze to Anko, she replies, "Hello there, Anko-chan." A couple minutes later, all the jounins who knew each other sat together. A man named with gray gravity-defying hair was spotted with them, also reading his little orange book, making the women around him a little peeved at first. Also, a man with a cigarette in his mouth and a scruffy full-on beard was there taking his seat right next to Kurenai, much to her dismay. A man with a bowl-shaped haircut and green spandex also sat near them, yelling something about the springtime of youth. These were Kakashi Hatake, Asuma Saratobi, and Might Guy. Anko then speaks up. "So who do you think the guy is that's going to sparring with the old man?" Everyone wondered about this also. "I'm not sure, Anko-chan, although he must be good to have Hokage-sama invite everyone here to watch, let alone spar with Hai," Kakashi said. While Guy shouted his skills must be so youthful to have has come here. "Right, Kakashi, my greatest rival?" Kakashi flipped another page before saying him. You say something, Guy? Guy face false curse you and your youthfulness. Meanwhile, Asuma was attempting to talk to Kurenai. So Kurenai-chan, I was wondering if after this you would like to go on a date tonight. Kurenai then responds. Sorry Asuma, I can't. I'm having a girls' night out. Asuma a little down just says. Yes sure okay maybe next time. While Asuma was back to thinking of a way to get her to say yes to a date. While Kurenai was thinking about a certain blonde man whom maybe I should try and find him after this. I didn't even get a chance to thank him properly. Plus I still have his jacket. Shaking her out of her thoughts, she heard the Hokage-sama speak up. Upon hearing his speech, the mystery man entered. Looking closer, Kurenai spots the man she was thinking about. Blonde hair, slim figure and all. Without consciously thinking, she yells, "Hey Naruto-kun!" having everyone in the stadium look at her. Shinobi Council side. Mikoto was on the other side of the stadium with all the whole Shinobi Council present. All that were present were the heads of each respective clans. Starting with the Hyugas, the Naras, the Akimichis, the Yamanaka, the Inuzukas, the Aburame and the Uchiha clan. Each clan represented by their heads there. The Hyugas, well known for the clan eyes, the Byakugan and their clan style taijutsu known as the gentle fist that targets special points in your body, shutting down your chakra. Hayashi Hyuga, known as the head of the clan. Having long black hair and wearing loose traditional robes accompanied with pupil-less white eyes. Shikaku Nara, with 2 scars on the right side of his face. He had dark hair tied up into a spiky ponytail, dark eyes as well as a goatee. The Nara clan, known for the impressive IQ and laziness. They are masters at using the shadow to their advantage by trapping opponents and killing them. Next was Choza Akimichi. A large man with long red hair, with purple markings on his cheeks and samurai-like outfit. The Akimichis are known for the consumption of food, turning it into energy. Their clan's technique is known for their body part expansions. Sitting next to Choza was a man with long blonde hair reaching his back with spikes in the front with blue-green eyes. His name was Inoichi Yamanaka, head of the Yamanaka clan. Their clan being known for the flower shop and using their skills for interrogation and espionage. Their techniques they are known for are transferring consciousness, reading minds and communicating telepathically. Some Inuzuka, the head of the Inuzuka clan. She had long, spiky, untamed brown hair, vertical slit-like pupils, elongated canine teeth and nails. On her face were fawn-like markings known for their clan. A clan that are known for their dog companions. And being able to use collaboration techniques with their companions. Next were the Aburame clan. The head, being Shibi Aburame, being very stoic and silent. He wears dark glasses with very spiky short black hair and a mustache. He typically wears a high-collared outfit, while carrying a gourd on his back that is used for holding more Kakeichu. Their clan are known for using their bugs to drain opponents' chakra. And lastly, Mikoto Uchiha, head of the Uchiha clan. Luckily for her, she began to train after she was saved by Naruto. Although she tried training with her son, he would outright refuse, telling her she was worthless and doesn't deserve being called the head. Saddened by his choice, Mikoto, ever since she became a housewife, she started to slack a little on her kunoichi skills. Luckily for her, she was able to train her Sharingan, making her worthy of the clan head title. Being that she was the head of the Uchiha clan, now she had to show up. Although she didn't mind knowing that her Naruto was about to fight today, while trying to make him hers. But she always was curious about how his skills have grown. And now she will get to find out. Sarutobi finishing his speech has Naruto enter. Walking in, Mikoto seeing him couldn't help but marvel at how handsome he is. It was then she heard a woman yell, "Hey Naruto-kun!" Instantly flashing her Sharingan at the women who said his name like that. Who the hell is she and how the hell does she know Naruto-kun? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad you all can come here today. Today I have a very special treat for you. It will be a sparring match against me and our top swordsman, one of my ANBU. Her name is Nico. Many of you think this man would be crazy to challenge an ANBU and the Hokage of all things, but I believe you will be very surprised at what he is able to do. Let's start this. Let him in, Sarutobi announced. Naruto opened the door and began to walk towards the field. Hands in his pocket, hair flowing in the wind. Taking small steps to analyze who are in the stadium. He saw that many of the kunoichi were blushing and drooling over him. Go figure. Upon analyzing the crowd, he hears a girl shout, "Hey Naruto-kun!" Turning his gaze to who shouted, he spotted Kurenai. Smiling, Naruto responds, "Hello Kurenai-chan, nice to see you again." In the stands, Kurenai can only stare at his beautiful face until she heard Anko yell, "You're that gaki in the forest I saw a couple years ago." Snapping her out of her thoughts, she says, "You know him, Anko-chan?" Kurenai says. Anko looks at her and responds, I don't know him, but I saw him train at the Forest of Death with another man. His skills at the time looked at least mid-jounin level. Anko grinning continues. Enough about Mikure-chan. How do you know this blonde hunk? Kurenai blushes a little. Well, I was attacked by 3 Kumo ninjas. They were going to do something I would not like to speak of, but he came out of nowhere and killed them. He saved me and then carried me to the hospital, Kurenai said, although thinking about his smile, his scent and kiss to her forehead. Well, this is going to be good then. He must have improved dramatically. He must also be fighting Yugao-chan then, since she is the only one who knows how to wield a sword properly, Anko said. Back to Naruto. He continues walking and spots Mikoto on the other side. She smiles at him. Naruto, seeing this, smiles at her brightly, making Mikoto and some of the girls melt at his smile. Finally reaching the middle, he sees a woman in a cat mask with her ANBU attire. They both hear Sarutobi speak. For the first match, it will be a spar and only swords. Here today to test this man is Nico. At my signal you can begin. As soon Nico looked up, she was instantly surprised of this blonde man she had met 4 years ago. Sarutobi looks at both of them and says Hajime. Nico jumps back and draws his sword, while Naruto sat there lazily with his hand loosely at the hilt. For a couple minutes no one moved. Nico sat there examining him. So this is the Naruto that fought Itachi-senpai. I can't tell much from his stance. Although he fought and beat Itachi-senpai, so I better not underestimate him. He looks very relaxed in his lazy stance. So it seems he will be ready for any attack. Well, here we go. Nico, tired of waiting, lunges to deliver a few test slashes on him to test his reflex. Surprisingly, it was on point. She decided to step her speed to maximum, trying to deliver a few slashes. To her surprise, he was dodging her strikes with ease at her full speed. After Nico not being able to reach her, jumps back to separate. Naruto then speaks to her. Very good, Nico-san. Your swordsmanship skills are above average at best. But it seems you cannot hit me. If you're trying to hit me, stop putting distance between us. Nico immediately shoots off to slash at him again. As expected by Naruto, he is dodging flawlessly again. Putting her fingers in cross, she makes 3 clones. All 3 have leaped to him, forming him in triangle before lunging forward to slice him, saying Mikazuki no Mai, Dance of the Crescent Moon. Soon 3 Nikos went to slice him. It seemed that all 3 of their blades hit him. Only for her to find out the image of Naruto began to vanish. Hearing a voice behind her. Well, Nico-san, it seems you have missed yet again. You have to try much harder than that to stab someone like me. Nico sits there in shock of what just happened. What the hell? That attack was spot on. The point of this move was to capitalize on the blind spot. This move is usually flush. Naruto, seeing her in thought, talks. Yes, you believe by cornering me there would be no way for me to block an attack since you attacked from all of my blind spots. Very clever move, Nico-san. But what you didn't account for is one thing. Naruto continues. My speed cannot be equaled. That move I just used is called a sashimi. It is a technique where I move so fast I leave an afterimage, Naruto said. Nico was shocked at his confession. In the stands. Many people in the stands were stunned by what this man is doing and how he is holding up with the purple-haired ANBU. Nico is known though ANBU as a master at a sword. Guy voiced his opinion in unusual serious tone. His speed is amazing. To think he is fast enough to leave in an afterimage of himself. I would say he is faster than me with my weights off and a couple gates open. Many people in the audience that were around the Jounins were very shocked at Guy's confession. Kurenai was the first one to break the silence. Are you sure about that, Guy? Don't you think you over-exaggerating just a little bit? You are the fastest Jounin here? Guy shook his head. No, I am absolutely sure. I've heard about the afterimage technique. You must contain an enormous amount of speed. Speed I have yet attained. Guy then broke it in a nice guy pose. His speed is so youthful though. If I cannot get to his speed in a week, I will do push-ups with only my teeth. Everyone around him face faulted at his actions. Well, that was nice while it lasted, Anko said. Kakashi puts his book down and pulls up his Sharingan eye to watch this fight closely, very curious to who this guy is. Well, this will only get interesting from here, Kakashi said. Kurenai and Anko were both thinking you just get more and more interesting. Mikoto, on the other hand, was shocked at how Naruto was handling an ANBU operative. It seemed no matter how much ANBU Kunoichi tried, she couldn't touch him at all. Many discussions began on the Shinobi Council. His speed is incredible. And to think he will be sparring with Hokage-sama next, Inoichi said. Well, based on his performance now, I believe he should be evenly matched with Hokage-sama, Shikaka said. Sim and Mikoto were wide-eyed. You really don't think that, do you, Shikaka-san? Some asked. Shikaku was going to respond until Shibi interrupted. I believe Shikaku is right. Based on his speed alone, he is able to counter every one of Nico's strikes. Nico is our best swordsman within the NBU. What's more troubling is he has yet to display any of his skills with his sword or justice. Everyone can only take the information in. While the noble Hyuga was in thought with Byakugan active, I can't seem to follow his movements with eyes. Even when I'm straining, who is this man? Back to Naruto. Knowing that my speed cannot be equaled by anyone in this village, what will you do? Will you continue your fruitless attempts to slice me, or will you forfeit? Nico then speaks up for the first time during the match. I will not lose. I will prove to you that I am worthy of the title of Konoha's sword mistress. Nico then lounges at Naruto with full strength and speed. As she approached, Naruto only stood there with his hands in his pocket with a stoic expression. As soon as the sword was about to come down on his head, Naruto raises his left arm, catching the sword with one finger, surprising the hell out of Nico and everyone in the audience. Nico then notices he is gone, but only for her to find him behind her, breathing in her ear. This is useless, Nico-san. Please forfeit. Naruto said, slightly sniffing her hair, making her shiver. My Nico-chan, your hair smells amazing. He began to touch it with his fingers, then eventually slide down his arm to rub her bare arms softly, then put his head on top of her shoulder and began talking. The operative Nico was blushing at his intimate actions, especially in battle. She then felt his head on top of her shoulder and his arm encircle her waist. She heard him whisper. She couldn't help but blush even more. Please, Nico-chan. Please give up. You are very good with a sword. You no doubt have my respect. Let's end this. With a sigh, she could only nod and said in a whisper. Very well, I believe we should. Naruto only smirked and said, can I have your name by any chance, Nico-chan? Nico only stuttered out, it's Yugao Yuzuki. Well, Moonflower, huh? A very beautiful name. I wish I can get to see what you look like under that mask. I assume you must look like an angel. Yugao only blushed again. Well, maybe if you stick around you might be able to find out, she teasingly said. Naruto only smiled. Well, after this match is over, why don't you say we go and get to know each other better? Yugao could only nod. He steps back and nods to Sarutobi, giving him the signal for his win. The winner, Naruto Namikaze, Sarutobi said with a smirk. In the stands. Everyone in the stands were silent for two facts. One, he easily overpowered Yugao's sword with one finger, and he easily overpowered her. And the second, they just had their Hokage-sama announce the boy's whole name. Knowing he is the demon boy they all knew, and that he has the last name of their fourth Hokage, only seemed to make them clean their ears and disbelieve what they heard. The girls in the stadium were thinking about other things. The way he brought her defenses down, oh boy, how they wished it was them in her place with such an intimate position. Mikoto and Kuranai can only glare at Yugao for getting such an action out of him. They both wished it was their shoulder his chin was on. After a moment of pure silence, many people began to shout out of outrage for their Hokage said. Many shouts can be heard. The demon brat is back. One civilian shouted. No way, that piece of scum is related to the Yondaime, shouted a Jounin. Cries that were heard from the audience was enough. The Sandaime raised his killing intent, silencing them. Naruto is in fact the Yondaime's son. I have the birth certificate and blood sample to prove it. And to think you all disrespected his last wish by treating his son like crap. I am very disappointed in you all, he says, pulling out a document and passing it to the Shinobi Council, who held their heads down to what their Hokage said. Some Jounins in the audience were ashamed as well. The reason for this sparring match is because if he wins against me, then I know he will be able to take his last father's name. Many of the ninjas began to whisper, there is no way he will win against Hokage-sama. One Jounin said. Yeah, the demon brat must have won this match by luck. While the whisper were going on, all the Jounins except Mikoto and Kurenai were surprised at the news of his last name. He was my sensei's son? Why? How? Why didn't Hokage-sama tell me? Kakashi thought. So this little Gaki is related to the Yondaime, huh? Oh, I defiantly want to get to know him now, thought Anko. Yugao was too very surprised at the news as well. Everyone was interrupted from their thoughts and whispers when Sarutobi speaks up. Now this match will begin. With me, the Hokage versus Naruto. A proctor with a sickly cough with Saban needle in his mouth steps in the middle, signaling the start of the match. Looking at the Hokage, and Naruto puts his hands down and says Hajime. Sarutobi took his Hokage robes off, showing he is in his battle uniform. Naruto sits there lazily again with his hand rubbing his hilt. Naruto-kun, please stopping rubbing me, Kyoka says with a blush. I am sorry, Kyoka-chan. Your hilt is so beautiful I can't help but marvel at it, Naruto said. Sarutobi then pulls out a shuriken and puts his hands together and says shuriken shadow clone technique. The one shuriken turned into hundreds flying at Naruto. Naruto only looked at it passively. Only before masking his arm with his purple Riasta batting away the shuriken. Sarutobi looked a little surprised before forming more hand signs and saying Doton, Doryuden, Earth Release, Earth Dragon Bullet, a dragon-like head of mud shoot out of the ground at fast speeds towards Naruto. Only for Naruto to shunpa out of the way. Your techniques are too slow, Hokage Gigi. You can't touch me with any of your justice, Naruto says. Sarutobi studies him before moving. Well, my boy, it seems you are good. But let me show you why I am the Hokage. Making his hand into a cross sign says Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Shadow Clone Technique. 3 exact replicas of Sarutobi appeared. Both lunged at Naruto, engaging him in hand-to-hand combat, while the real Sarutobi and a clone started making different hand signs before both shouted different justice Doton, Doryuden, Earth Release, Earth Dragon Bullet. The other clone shouted Katan, Karyuden, Fire Release, Fire Dragon Bullet. The two justice combined with each other shooting towards Naruto. Naruto was analyzing the situation at hand. Well, this is impressive. Using 3 clones of himself. 2 to attack and distract me while Gigi and the other clone do a collaboration Justu. By the looks of the Justu, it seems like it has increased in speed and power. If I don't react soon, I might get caught with it, considering he poured somewhat a lot of chakra into these clones to hold me still. Naruto instantly switched to defending with one arm with both of the clones, which surprised a lot of people. Shifting his angle so his side was facing the Justu, it almost hit him until Naruto says El Escudo, the shield. With one hand a green-like shield appeared, blocking the powerful Justu with ease. Sarutobi stood there surprised at how easily it was blocked. Naruto taking control of the shock, Sarutobi shunped behind the 2 clones, giving 2 chops to the back of their head, instantly poofing out of existence while Sarutobi dispels the other clone. In the stands, many of the people in the audience were stunned that this boy was holding his own with the Hokage. Not a lot of people could hold their own against the Sandame regardless of his age. I can't believe he is faring against Hokage-sama. To think this is a sparring match for them. It's incredible. And that shield Naruto pulled up. He didn't even use hand signs. To block such an attack with 2 affinities combined isn't any easy thing to do, Kakashi said. Oh my, his power is so sexy, Anko said, grinning. Kurenai only looked annoyed at what she said, while both Guy and Asuma were just watching with their jaws hanging. Many of the heads of the Shinobi Council were as shocked as well. What the hell was all Tsum and Mikoto could say with their mouths hanging? Well, it seems my theory of Naruto is correct, Shikaka says. All the heads of the council turned to him, intently listening. Even Hayashi was leaning towards the conversation. And what did you analyze about Naruto, Shikaka-san? Tsum said, very curious, as the rest of the council were. Sighing, Shikaka began, look at the way he has been moving against Hokage-sama. The speed at which he moves tells me he moves at least Kage level and above. His speed rivals the Hiraishin, if not above it. Many of the mouths dropped at the thought of moving faster the Hiraishin, the one move that ended a war and that made Minato a double S-class ninja. Shikaka continuing, not only that, but one of his techniques didn't require hand signs. This man has been single-handedly toying with Hokage-sama. He has yet to perform any of his moves or pull his sword out. This tells me that his hidden moves must be stronger than they really are as well, and he wants to hold some kind of trump card over him. When he starts to use his techniques, I believe Hokage-sama won't be able to keep up. All were silent at his revelation. Shikaka, are you sure? I mean, Hokage-sama is still very strong despite his old age. Right. Mikoto speaking for the first time in the conversation. Shikaka only sighs, watch and see then. Back to the fight. Naruto then pointed his index finger out and said, let's begin the real match, GG. Know that I will not pull punches. It is my turn. Naruto gathering Riasta says, Heido number 4, Byakurai. A fast, concentrated thunderbolt shot into Sarutobi's left arm, pushing him back. Blood started to drip out of his shoulder. I didn't even see it hit me. It also required no hand seals, Sarutobi thought. Naruto shunped and held his blade to Sarutobi's throat. Give it up, GG. I don't want to hurt you any further than I have to. Sarutobi could only chuckle with slight pain. You have grown so much, Naruto-kun. You even have surpassed me, and I believe you surpassed your mom and dad. They would both be so proud of you. I am proud of you as well. Naruto only smiles and walks up to Sarutobi and gives him a hug on the battlefield while Sarutobi slightly winces. Arigato, GG, that means a lot to me. I will hold the will of fire that you believe in so much. But I also have something very important to discuss when you're patched up. Sarutobi only nods before saying winner Naruto Namikaze. The crowd were deathly silent. No one spoke at what they just witnessed. Shikaka sighs, I told you. He didn't even pull his sword out either. Well, it seems we have a above Kage level shinobi on our hands. No one spoke for several minutes. Before they heard a clap on the shinobi council side, surprisingly Hayashi initialing it. More claps being to join in before the whole audience roared. Mikoto and Kurenai screamed, "Go Naruto-kun!" The jounins around Kurenai looked at her with weird looks before she turned her face away with a tint of pink on her cheeks at what she just said. While the heads of the shinobi council looked at Mikoto as well with weird looks before she turned away blushing as well. Naruto could only look at everyone at the crowd with a passive face, but if you saw closely, a slight smirk. Before Sarutobi speaks, well, you all saw it here. I deem Naruto worthy to carry his last name. He will receive his inheritance as well. Also, he will have to be enacted in the CRA. At this, many girls blushed and already had one thought on their mind. That concludes it for today. Thank you. Sarutobi Shunshin's making his way to the hospital. While Naruto began to walk away from the stadium, he soon encountered the whole shinobi council and some jounins in front of him. Naruto stopped and placed his hand on his hilt. Shikaka, seeing this, spoke up first. Don't be alarmed, Namikaze-san. We are only here to congratulate you on your match today with Hokage-sama. Many of the other heads nodded. Eyeing them curiously, Naruto says, Yes, thank you. Who are you all, by the way, if I may ask? They begin to explain how they were the heads of the noble clans of Konoha. Shikaka then speaks up again, Namikaze-san, quickly interrupted by Naruto. Just call me Naruto, he said, flashing his smile, at which the girls present could only blush a little at how handsome he looked. Naruto, why didn't you try to end the battle quickly instead of toying with him? Naruto, with an eyebrow raised, says. Well, it seems you noticed, huh? Very observant of you. Well, I simply was trying to see what Gigi was capable of. I'm sorry to say, but Gigi can never hope to defeat me with his current skills, which is why I ended it. If I perceived him as a threat, it would have lasted longer. Shikaka only nods, confirming his theory of the boy. Looking at Mikoto, he smiles and says, Hello there, Mikoto-chan, you look lovely today. Mikoto blushes. Why, thank you, Naruto-kun. You did very good with your match today, Mikoto said, still red-faced. Naruto walks up to Mikoto, gently stroking her cheek, surprising many of the head clan members, says, Thank you, Mikoto-chan. Hopefully we can catch up later, Naruto says, walking away, leaving Mikoto to blush a little more. She notices the clan heads looking at her. What? She says in a slight daze before she walked away. Walking out of the stadium and to the Hokushi Tower, many people were staring and whispering things about him being the Yandame's son and many things like that. Walking, he heard Akane and Kyoka speak for the first time since the beginning of the battle. Hey Naruto-kun, they both said. Hey girls, why didn't you speak to me while I was fighting? Naruto said. Kyoka spoke first. We didn't want you to lose any focus, Naruto-kun, so we just stayed quiet. Naruto only nods. So how did you think I did? Akane responds. You did great, Naruto-kun. All the training has paid off. You are possibly the strongest shinobi yet. Naruto smiles. Thank you, AK-chan, Kyoka-chan. I miss you girls. Both of them blushed before yelling. If you miss us so much, then you better be here tonight to cuddle with us. Naruto slightly chuckles. Of course I will. Who would miss out on a chance to cuddle with two lovely goddesses? Reaching his destination, he walks through the entrance. Hokage Tower. Reaching the front desk, he reaches a lady stationed there. Wanting to meet his Gigi, the lady directs him upstairs. Naruto knocked and heard enter. Before him stood his Gigi and what it looked like to be many high-level ninjas, among them arguing until all their eyes met his. Before Naruto's arrival to the office, Sarutobi was holding his migraine in right now. After he got patched up and went back to do work in his office, he was bombarded with all the jounins asking questions about Naruto. It wasn't until one got his attention. Sarutobi, why didn't you tell me Naruto was my sensei's son? Kakashi said loudly. At the moment, everyone stopped chattering to look at the two. Sarutobi remained silent. This scene seemed to remind him of when he told Naruto about his parents. Hoping it wasn't a replay of that, Sarutobi spoke up. Kakashi, you took the deaths of your teammates and Minato's very hard. I doubt you could have done anything even if I told you. What did you do after it, Kakashi? You drowned yourself in ANBU missions trying to forget the pain of losing everyone near you. You simply weren't fit to take care of him. Kakashi instantly lunges and takes Sarutobi by the collar and pins him to the wall. At that moment, the ANBU hidden that were hidden in place had their kunais ready to stab the ex-ANBU captain. Kakashi-senpai, stop this. One ANBU said. Not loosening his grip, Kakashi yelled, I could have at least provided him a home, something to eat. I know I wouldn't be there for him as much, but at least it would be something. Sarutobi only sighs. Yes, it would have been something, but like I said before, you were in no position to take care of someone else when you couldn't take care of yourself. Be mad at me, Kakashi, but I did what was best, Sarutobi says. Loosening his grip on the Hokage, he lets go. Then they all hear a knock. Enter, Sarutobi says. In comes the topic of their discussion. Back to Naruto. Examining everyone in front of him, he could tell some jounins were there still uncomfortable with him being in that room from their looks of their body language. Looking around, he spots a purple-haired woman with a trench coat with a beautiful body eyeing him from head to toe. Doing the same, he could tell she was very beautiful despite her provocative wear. When their eyes meet, he pierced his gaze into her. Like he was examining her soul. Anko, being captivated by his strong gaze, couldn't look away. After a few moments, he smiles at her, making her smile mischievously. Turning his gaze to a woman beside her, she spots Kurenai. Naruto, smiling, says, Hi, Kurenai-chan. You're looking very lovely today, if I do say so myself. Kurenai lightly blushes. Well, thank you, Naruto-kun. You don't look too bad yourself. That was an amazing match you had today. I'm surprised at how strong you are, Kurenai said, still lightly blushing. Seeing this, Naruto egged on more. Yes, thank you, Kurenai-chan. But you know I'm glad to have someone as beautiful as you cheering me on when I was there. And for that I thank you. Walking up to Kurenai, he grabs one of her hands and plants 2 light kisses on her knuckles. Full-blown blushing now, Kurenai couldn't help but stifle a little giggle. Many jounins in the room were simply amazed at how he handled Kurenai. Did he not know that this was Kurenai Yuhi, one of Konoha's ice queens, to always shut a guy down and castrate anyone who made those types of advances on her? Asuma was narrowing his eyes on Naruto now. Hearing a cough, he gazes towards Sarutobi. Hey Gigi, how is your shoulder? Before Sarutobi could respond, some dumb jounin yelled. How dare you familiarize yourself with the Hokage? He should be respected. You are nothing but a demon. Naruto, looking at him very stoic-like, started walking towards him. The first step he took, he flexed his spiritual pressure, bringing everyone on his side to one knee. Continuing to take more steps, he flexed it more and more till everyone was on the ground. It was worse for the man who spoke out, considering it was aimed at him. Reaching the man who yelled, he looks down. Would you like to repeat that? All he could hear was gurgle, for the man was choking. GG, or for you guys, Hokage-sama is someone I hold dear. If you have any problem, please be kind and speak up. I am fair when it comes to opinions. Raising his spiritual pressure just a little more, the man was flat on his stomach. No opinions? Well, good. We can continue then. Letting go of his spiritual pressure, everyone was silently relieved that he stopped. They all felt helpless. Like being paralyzed by death itself. Others trying to get back to their feet. Naruto turns to Sarutobi and apologizes. I am very sorry for the outburst, Hokage Gigi, he said, looking at anyone to test his authority again. Thankfully, everyone were silent. No problem, Naruto-kun, just don't kill anyone and give me any more paperwork, alright? Sarutobi says. Naruto nods. Still seeing the purple-haired Kunoichi on the ground along with Kurenai trying to regain themselves, he walks up to both and sticks his hand out for Kurenai to grab. Looking up, she gently places her hand in his and helps her up. Naruto takes hold of both of her shoulders and looks into her eyes. I am very sorry you had to witness such an unpleasant feeling, Kurenai-chan. Please forgive me, Naruto said, kissing forehead like when they first met. Kurenai, now blushing, can only nod her head. Sticking his hand out to the purple-headed Kunoichi that was almost up, Naruto says, I am very sorry for that outburst as well. Would you mind telling me your name? Anko grins and says, I am the very sexy, single Anko Mitarashi, throwing one arm in the air. Everyone only shook their heads at her antics while Naruto slightly chuckled. Very cute, Anko-san, very cute. Very surprising you are single though. Anko, hearing the compliment, decides to tease him a little. Walking up to him, pressing her breast against his rock-hard chest, puts her arms around his neck and says, Oh, you think I'm cute, Naruto-kun? Just how cute am I, Naruto-kun? Anko said, drawing out his name seductively. Seeing the teasing, Naruto knows exactly what to do and decided he would return it back 10 times better. Putting his mouth to her ear. Oh, I think you are very cute, Anko-chan. So cute I can't help but feel drawn to you. What would you do if I kissed you, Anko-chan? Would you reject me or would you let me touch your lips? I feel you won't be single for long now that I'm here. Anko, now scarlet red, blushing at the sincere and words he was saying. She never felt like this before. Not only that, but she was being severely out-teased by this man. Anko then feels lips on her neck. They feel like they're moving up and up. Naruto began to drift sweet kisses onto her neck, slowly up to her jaw, then to her cheek. Naruto brushes his lips against her and catches eyes with her. They look at each other, leaning in closer and closer until they were centimeters away. Enko was about to close her eyes and prepare for a kiss. She hears Naruto speak in her ear. Gotcha, Enko-heim. Know that I will always have you wanting more. Naruto retreated his head back and smiled at her dreamlike state. Everyone in the room were feeling two things: amazed and a little turned on. All the men and even the Hokage was amazed at how Naruto was able to not only charm some of the Konoha's ice queens, but he was able to out-tease the best one out of them all. Some of the Jounin women there were awed and turned on by such the sensual display. It looked like something out of a book. Kurenai, though, was glaring at Enko. God, I'm so glad he didn't kiss Enko-chan. Wait, why I am glad? I barely know him. I wish he was doing that to me. Wait, why am I wishing I was in Enko-chan's position? God, I am falling for Naruto? Kurenai thought. Asuma picked up on the glare Kurenai was giving Enko, signaling to Asuma that he might needs to really keep an eye on this Naruto guy. Mindscape. Akane and Kyoko were silently giggling in his mind. There he goes again, acting like Casanova. Akane says. Oh, be quiet, Aka-chan. You love when he sweet talks you also. Akane blushes and retorts. Yeah, well, I don't see you faring any better whenever he pulls the mirror flower compliment on you. Kyoko only blushes. Yeah, what happens to you when he gives you the My Crimson Queen compliment, huh? Akane blushes at that. Both could only blush thinking at how Naruto always sweet talks them. It makes them even happier knowing that he means it, and not just trying to get into their pants. Which they have yet to do but secretly wish they could. Back to Naruto. Sarutobi coughing, hoping to interrupt their little scene so he can get back to business, although inside he was very interested at what he saw between the two women. Well, Naruto, before I was interrupted, I was about to say my shoulder is fine. Also, now that you're here, I don't have to go out and find you, so I can tell you that here are your academy papers. Every Jounin in the room shouted. Academy papers. Sarutobi cringed at their shouts. Yes, Naruto wanted to become enrolled into the ninja system for reasons I don't know. Now everyone get out. I need to talk to Naruto alone. Everyone starts to file out of the office with many of the Jounins hoping to get him on their team. Before Enko and Kurenai file it, he instantly grabs both of their hands and says, I do hope we can meet again. Both Enko and Kurenai blush before Enko speaks up. You bet your fine handsome blonde ass we will, Naruto-kun. While Kurenai speaks up after. Oh yes, Naruto-kun, we should go get something out to eat together sometime. I still have to give you your jacket. Naruto only nods then chuckles, while they give him a wink and shut the door. Naruto looks back at Sarutobi and turns serious. We have to talk, Hokage-sama. Sarutobi looking at him seriously, knowing the way he addressed him meant business, and says, Alright, my boy. What about? He says. It has to do with plans of me leaving this village. What is the meaning of this, Naruto? Sarutobi said in a strict voice. Naruto looked at him, ran his hand through his hair and sighed. It's exactly what it means, Hokage Gigi. Naruto said. Sarutobi was trying to wrap around his head at what he said. Naruto, you just came back to the village and now you want to leave again? Are you seriously thinking about leaving? Naruto then began walk towards the window. Looking out, he says, I am. But not now. I still have a lot of planning to do. Sarutobi then shouted, You will not leave this village, Naruto. I will not allow it. Why would you want to leave anyways? Is it because of the people? You should have nothing to worry about because you're strong now. Why would you want to leave? Naruto sighs again. You don't understand, Gigi. Sarutobi replied furiously, raising his killing intent. The hell I don't. I made a promise to your mom and dad to fulfill their wish of seeing you as a hero in this village. I will not spit on their wish like the others. If you do so, you will have to fight me, Naruto. Naruto, looking over his shoulder, raises his spiritual pressure, toppling Sarutobi's killing intent. Sarutobi was frozen and in pain. If you let me explain for my reasons, then I'm sure we can work something out. Stopping his spiritual pressure, he looked at Sarutobi, finally silent, but still having labored breathing. Sorry I had to do that, Gigi. But before I was going to explain, you decided to butt in. Naruto, still looking outside the window, he continues. This village was never my home, Gigi. You of all people know that. The only thing that kept me here was you and possibly the hope my life would change for the better. Training with Aizen-sensei for these 4 years made me question my own beliefs of why I wanted to stay here. I realized my reason for staying was a just foolish thought to have, and I realized it would have a slim chance of coming to fruition. Even now people call me the names I was called 4 years ago, their attitudes are the same. I came to believe that some people will never change if they're still deeply rooted in their beliefs. I for one will not tolerate it. See Gigi, I have a dream. My dream is to fulfill a promise to Ka-san, Tu-san, and Aizen-sensei that I made. The first one is to become the most feared shinobi in all these lands. And my second dream is to start my own village and have it become more powerful than any of the villages here in the elemental nations. You see, I have a lot of plans for my village, Gigi. Sarutobi was shocked and was trying to take in all the information he just told him. Sarutobi defiantly knew he could become Kage if he wanted to, seeing his skills first-handedly. But Sarutobi thought if he wanted to build a village, he could defiantly defect and no one would stand a chance against him, so why was he telling him? He knew that Naruto looked at him like a grandfather as he looked to Naruto as a grandson, so why? That is very surprising to hear, Naruto. But let me ask you a question. Why would you tell me? Sarutobi said, curious. Naruto responded, because Gigi, I wanted to see if you would help since your closet thing I have to family. And possibly join if you're up for it. Sarutobi was now very surprised. So that's why you want to be in the academy. You want your name to be known first, but Naruto, what makes you think I would join, let alone help? I'm not warming up to the idea of having you defect, Naruto. If you noticed, I am still the Hokage of this village. I figured you would say that. Tell me, Gigi, what really keeps you here in Konoha? What motivates you to fight for these people? Naruto says. Without hesitation, Sarutobi replies, it is the will to protect these citizens within these village walls. As Hokage, it is my duty to protect it from any threat. Knowing I have this responsibility keeps me here. I grew up here. I made my career here. This place gave me meaning. This place is my home and forever will be. Naruto, turning to look at him, says, spoken like a true leader of his village. I just want you to know my offer stands if you want to join. If you decide to leave, Sarutobi only nods before Naruto continues, are you sure you cannot help me with at least getting me started? At least finding an abandoned plane of land or village, something? Sarutobi looks at him for a couple minutes, silently weighing out his options. If he does leave, I don't think anyone could stop him. Not even me. But then again, if I help him with this one thing, then he might stay here a little longer. Although it will be interesting to see where this idea will go. Finally deciding, he speaks. I may be able to help you with at least finding a place. But you will have to do something for me, Naruto, now giving Sarutobi his full attention. And what would you need help with? Sarutobi responds, a woman by the name of Mei Terumi has sent me letters about a certain situation happening in Kirigakure. She is the leader of a rebel group trying to overthrow the current Mizukage. Naruto nods. I assume she is not happy with how the Mizukage is ruling. Sarutobi nods. Yes, the current Mizukage, from what I know, is a tyrant, and has killed and disposed of everyone who are not loyal to him. Like you, he is too a Jinchuriki. Now what I need from you is to go assist her with this war they are having and end it, along with rebuilding Kiri after. She will be here in a couple days. She promises if this war ends and we help, she will secure an alliance with us when she takes the seat of the next Mizukage. Having an alliance with her will give us a strong ally in the future. If you can do this for me, I will give you a place to look to start rebuilding your village. Naruto looked at him for a while, trying to see if he had even one hint of deception in his eyes. He then spoke to Akane and Kyoka. Ladies, are you there? Both Akane and Kyoka reply, yes, we are. Naruto-kun. Naruto then asks, what do you ladies think? He wants me to do a mission in exchange for information on where to start a village. My question though is, why would he give information knowing I will become a missing ninja in a few months? Akane replies, that is very weird actually, Naruto-kun. If I do remember correctly, there is some law on when a ninja of a village leaves their home village, they are marked as missing ninjas and are put in a book to be hunted for money. I don't think he would want to do that either. What do you think, Kyoka? Kyoka replies, maybe he is considering your offer, Naruto-kun. Look at the facts, he's already in his old age, he is stuck here doing paperwork. Despite his skills being still amazing, he can't fight like he used to. Maybe he's looking for a place when he gives up the title. Nodding, Naruto speaks up. Thank you girls for your thoughts. I won't really know what he is really planning until later. So for now, these are only assumptions towards his actions. Regardless, I will not hesitate to fight him if he tries to ruin my plans. As much as I love and respect the old man, I can't let that happen. Thank you, Aka-chan, Kyoka-chan. I love you both. Akane and Kyoka smiled, then replied lovingly, we love you too, Naruto-kun. Focusing back on Sarutobi, very well, I will accept this mission. I hope you are not trying to deceive me, old man. The power you witnessed in the stadium wasn't even half of what I really have. Sarutobi with a slight tick mark at has remarked, do not worry, Naruto-kun, your secret is safe with me. And plus I do know you are stronger than me anyways. And let's just say I'm making up for not being there as much for you during your childhood. Naruto smiles. Thank you, Gigi. As soon as Naruto was about to walk out, Sarutobi interrupted his actions. Oh, Naruto-kun, before you leave, here are the papers for the academy tomorrow. Just give this to the head instructor. His name is Irika and he should fill you in. Alright, thank you, Gigi. I'll see you later. Sarutobi nods. Sitting back on his chair, he drifts his thoughts to what Naruto says. Starting a new village and wanting to be the Hokage and most feared shinobi in all of the elemental lands. If anyone can do it, it would certainly be you, Naruto-kun. Naruto was now walking back to his home. Naruto was happy to know he was now going to get started with his dreams of making his own village. Not paying attention, he bumped into someone, knocking them down. Upon noticing, he sticks his hands out and notices it's a girl. "I am very sorry, miss. I was wrapped up in my thoughts. I wasn't paying attention to where I was going," he said, smiling. The girl takes her hand. Looking at her further, he took in her appearance. She had beautiful, long dark blue hair that maybe reached to her back. She was wearing a loose-fitting, long-sleeved, lavender zip-up jacket with a mesh armor underneath. She had navy blue pants and black, low-heeled sandals. Looking at her face, he saw she had beautiful fair skin and pupilless eyes, which made him stare at her for a while. But he noticed that her eyes were red and a little puffy. Seeing tears from her eyes, he invaded her bubble and instantly wiped her tears away with his finger. "You know, your tears don't do justice to those beautiful eyes you have. What is your name?" Naruto said, smiling. Hinata Hyuga. She stuttered out, but on the other hand was lightly blushing because of the compliment and contact of his skin. Naruto looked at her and spoke, "Well, my name is Naruto." "Hyuga, you say? I believe I met a man who was a Hyuga this afternoon. I believe his name was Hayashi." The moment she heard the word Hayashi come out of his mouth, she broke down crying again. Naruto, seeing this, slightly panicked. He only did what he felt was right at that time and engulfed her in a hug. Hinata, on the other hand, was blushing at such the contact. After a few moments later, her crying settled down, and he loosened his hold on her a little bit, while still holding her in his arms. Hinata took this time to examine this man. He was tall and he had blonde, wavy hair with one strand in the front. He was very slim, but she can tell and feel he is very defined and was strong. Noticing she was still in his arms, she blushed. She doesn't even know this man, and he's holding her. But his aura gave her a sense of security and peace, breaking her from her gaze. "So Hinata-chan, what got you crying like this?" Naruto asks. Hinata begins to stutter out her story. In her mid-sentence, Naruto took a hold of her cheek and looked at her. "Hinata-chan, please, I know you can stop stuttering as much. It's only you and me. Don't feel so nervous. Start over." Hinata, taking a sigh, began to retell her story with less stuttering. Flashback. Hinata was in their dojo sparring with her sister, Hanabi Hyuga, using only taijutsu, which is what their clan specialized, combined with their Byukugen in conjunction. Their style relied on looking at the chakra points in one's body. Using their eyes, they are able to shut down chakra pathways with a single strike, causing an opponent great pain to their organs and ridding their chances of using any justice. After about 5 minutes, Hanabi was dominating her sister. With one last strike, Hinata fell to one knee. Blood bleeding out of her mouth, she looks at her sister with a wide smirk on her face. "Sorry, sister, it seems I am the victor yet again," Hanabi said. Seconds later, she turns her head to her father, who seemed to arrive as the match ended. "I see you have won again, Hanabi. Very good. I don't know what to do with you anymore, Hinata. You are supposed to be the heiress, yet you can't defeat your little sister in a sparring match. You have disgraced our clan by being weak, Hinata. Come, Hanabi," Hayashi said, walking with Hanabi. Hinata sat there crying profusely now. This always happened to her. She always got beat and her father would comment on her being weak. She stood up, wiped the blood of her mouth, and bolted out of the compound. Hayashi, who on the other side to watch her reaction, watched her daughter closing his eyes while sighing, "I am sorry, Hinata, my daughter. I don't know any other way to help you improve. I hope you can forgive me for this tough love treatment." Back to Naruto. Naruto was frowning when he heard about this. It seems this is a regular occurrence with Hinata. Looking down, he saw tears threatening to come out again as she finished her story. He instantly cupped her cheek. Hinata, flinching a little bit, decided to lean into it a little. She heard him speak. "Well, I can see why you were crying, Hinata-chan. But no, you are not weak. It only takes the right way of training a person to bring it out of you. I tell you what, how about every day from now on, you come over to my house and I will help you train. So next time you spar against your sister, you will beat her. But you have to promise me on thing, Hinata-chan," Naruto said. Hinata shoots her head up. Someone was willing to help her get stronger. What is it, and Naruto-kun? Naruto smiles. "Kun, huh? But then again, many girls I have met end up calling me that the first time, Naruto Kantias. Well, Hinata-chan, I want you to break out of this shy, stuttering shell of yours. I know you can be more confident. You did it when you were telling me your story. If you can try and do that, I promise that I will stick by you and help you get strong as a friend," Naruto said, smiling. Looking at Naruto's smile made Hinata light-headed. It was so serene and peaceful it made her blush a little harder. "Oh, okay, Naruto-kun, I will try hard. Naruto hands her a piece of paper and says with a smile. Good, now I have to leave now. For I am starting the academy tomorrow. After class, I want you to go to this address, okay? Hinata instantly responds. You're going to the academy and Naruto-kun? Naruto smiles. Yes, I am Hinata-chan. Hopefully I will see you there. Anyways, I have to go now. So remember, meet me at the address. Before Hinata turned around to walk off, Naruto took hold of her hand and looked into her eyes. Always remember, Hinata, you are strong, Kunoichi. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Now smile, because I know you would look so much more prettier with it on. Naruto said before kissing her nose. It took Hinata all the strength she can muster up not to faint at such contact. Letting go of her hand, he walks away. Hinata looks at his retreating reform, can't help but smile at what he said. Naruto-kun. I will work hard. I promise, Hinata thought with renewed vigor. Naruto was continued towards his house till he heard Akane speak. You know, Naruto-kun, you keep sweet-talking women like that, every girl in this village will fall for you. Kyoka giggles. Naruto only shook his head with a smile. I just say what comes to mind truthfully. Just like how you and Kyoka-chan are my two goddesses whose beauty cannot hope to be matched in this lifetime or the next. Akane and Kyoka blush hard at such a sincere compliment. You're making it very hard for me to not to have you come in here and rock your world in this bed of mine, Naruto-kun, Akane says seductively. Naruto chuckles. Well, know that if you do try and rock my world, we might have to get you a new bed, my Chrisman queen. Akane shuts up and suffers a nosebleed thinking of how fierce their sex would be if they did it. Kyoka giggles. There he goes with the compliments. Naruto responds, my, do you not like your name, my beautiful mirror flower? Kyoka smiles. Of course I do, Naruto-kun. Only from you though. Naruto smiles. Well, that's good. I'll see you girls in a bit. I love you, Akane, and Kyoka reply, love you too, Naruto-kun. Naruto gets to his mansion-like house and decides to retire in his mindscape with Akane and Kyoka, which consisted of heavily groping with each girls for a while and heated exchange of touching and saliva. The next day. Waking up, Naruto stretches and begins his morning ritual, taking a shower, then putting his attire on along with Kyoka, but he notices that he's missing something. It still seems Kurenai-chan still has my jacket. Well, I guess I'll just get it back when I see her, Naruto thought. Heading out for the day, he locks up his house to begin his first day at the academy. Naruto knows no one there will present him a challenge, but he was somewhat interested how their skills would match up to his. Not